two, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Let's make that one up. I enjoyed that. Okay, it's just me, myself, and I. It appears. Where are we? Let me check something. Okay. Yes. It's Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. And you are in tune to Live Boxing Talk with Raphie. Let me start the music. What is Live Boxing Talk with Raphie? What is Live Boxing Talk with Raphie? Well, first of all, I need to start the music before I can tell you. I think the music is going to change. I think I'm going to switch it up. I know how I'm going to start. Let's get this thing right. Okay. There we are. The music has begun. Okay, let me move this thing out the way. I'm wondering where my peoples are at. Where are my peoples? At this stage, I normally play the warm-in video, but I want to see, boom, I want to see where the people are at. Where are the people? Where are the people? Where are the people? Okay, at this stage, we have life. We have life. We have life. The area is being populated now. The area is being populated now. Okay, let me get into my screen. How are my levels? 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Whoa. Yes. The area is now being populated. Okay. Am I hearing things in my cans? Or is this real life? For everybody who's just tuned in, you've just missed my new intro. You know, I like to mix my intros up. I came up with a new improvised intro. And it goes a little bit like this. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. What do you like my new intro? How do you like my new intro? And how are my levels? How are my levels? There are levels to this game, so they say. Levels are good. Okay. You know, this is a really strange thing. I'm just looking for my page on my mobile. Okay, right. Levels are good. Okay, we are live. Okay, for anybody who doesn't know what Boxing Talk with Raphie is, it is exactly that. This is Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. So we talk about the combat sports. We talk about the combat sports. And in this episode, you will see that does not only mean boxing, because there was a marvelous UFC card on 239. Don't watch it as much these days, but I think we're gonna dip our toes into that briefly. Briefly dip our toes into that. And of course, as you know, there has been new developments in the heavyweight division. Heavyweight division between the trifecta of Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte, and of course, the diva, King Diva himself, Deontay Wilder. Okay, right, so, let me go ahead and give a shout out to let me do the roll call. Let me do a roll call. Tommy T, Toby Bartlett. Red Gloved Militant. Dr. Woodak. Shola Ibofin in the building. Heinrich Schmitz. Heinrich Schmitz, where have you been, Heinrich? You have been missing in action, Heinrich. We thought we lost you at the front. We thought you lost you. We thought we lost you, Heinrich. We thought we lost you. Damn it, this damn microphone stand is a damn. I think I'm gonna have to make a wooden one. I'm gonna have to get a wooden one. It's too, every time you touch the table, the damn thing ricochets, you can hear it. Okay, and it's kind of weird because I miss a Friday show, and it seems like a whole week's been missing. I've been missing, but it's only one day. Only miss one day to let you guys get out there and enjoy the sun. Only miss one day. Okay, but we are going to start in, so it's just good to be back. It's good to see. It's just good to see everybody. Headset. Does the headset not have the built-in mic? Headset. Yeah, the built-in mic. It's got a built-in mic. We have the headset's got the mic stand has the built-in mic, but it's got some springs on it, and when you knock it, it's like the springs reverberate like a damn guitar. That's not ideal. That is not ideal. Celebrity, what do you call him? Celebrity Troll Cass is up here in the building. Cass is up here in the building. Cass is celebrating. Cass says, oops, upside AJ's head. Oops, side up AJ's head. Now, Cass should be ashamed. He should be burying he's burying his head in the sand. He should be ashamed because his guy Wilder should have took advantage of that situation, accepted the fight, and he would have been 100 mil richer. He would have been 100 mil richer. So I don't understand these Wilder. I don't understand these Wilder guys. I don't understand these Wilder guys who, you should be ashamed. Your guy declined the fight, ran away from 100 million for 3 fights. Your man ran away from 100 million for 3 fights. What is that all about? Your man, Wilder, ran away from $100 million for 3 fights. and possibly undisputed. Still haven't done a warming video yet. I'm just so happy to see everybody. Feels like I've been on holiday and missed my dogs. My dogs, my puppies, my dogs. Your man Wilder ran away from $100 million for 3 fights. What kind of man? Who does that? Earn with Hearn up in the building. What kind of man does that? Let's have a listen to what Kaz has got to say. Wilder didn't lose anything. You're blaming the guy that handled his mandatory, not the guy who got. Red Glove Militant, thank you. Wilder missed out on that bag, says Shola Ibofin. What? You talking about mandatories? Don't talk to mandatories. Don't mention Wilder and mandatories in the same sentence. Don't mention Wilder and mandatories in the same sentence. He's been what, WBC champ for 4 years and fought 2 mandatories. We're supposed to fight 1 a year. Don't mention Wilder and mandatories in the same sentence, my friend. This fool, Earn with Hearn said, this fool Kaz up in here now. Yo, I gotta say something. I didn't know when Kaz came around. When Kaz came around, I can't lie, it gave a certain stamp. It gave a certain stamp. Because you only see Kaz in certain places. So when he came around, I thought to myself, yeah. Okay, this is good. This is good. This is good. Yeah, I think I need to turn the light on. I need to turn the light on. Yeah, so you can't mention Wilder and mandatories in the same sentence when he's been a champion for 4. He should fight 1 a year. He's been a champ for 4. He's been a champ for 4. Yeah, he's been a champ for 4. He's supposed to fight 1 a year. He's been a champ for 4 years and he's only fought 2 mandatories. Yeah. So don't mention Wilder and mandatories in the same sentence. Do not do that. Yeah, do not do that. The delusion is very, very strong. Two mandatories in 4 years. So, and you're talking about Wilder didn't lose anything? Is you crazy, boy? Is you crazy, boy? You missed out on a whole damn lot. Let me just kill this mic for a second because I gotta move the mic stand a little bit. Let me just kill the sound of the mic. Mute. Okay, you can still hear the damn thing reverberate. I shouldn't say the damn thing works. The thing works. Okay, I need some light. What's going on in here? Okay, so let me cue the warm-up video. Let me cue the warm-up video. Although we kind of warm already, but let's cue this baby up. I know exactly which one I'm looking for. I know exactly which one. Okay. Let's cue this baby up. Let's get the volume all the way up. I'm all the way up. Let's make this thing, yeah, expand the screen. What am I doing? Sharing the screen. Sharing the screen. Application window. Boom. 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 Is this the page? Is this the page? I think not. Oh, it is the page. Let's get the screen even bigger. Boom. Okay, kill the music. Damn it. Damn it, what the hell happened? Something happened. Something bad happened. Let's bring this back. Let's bring this back. No, not that. Have I lost everything? Have I lost everything? Have I lost everything? Damn it. I think I've lost a whole lot. Everything's disappeared. Hold on a sec. Oh my God. Wow, that was scary. What happened? Yes, yes, yes. And had to cover this. Had to cover this one. Jorge Masvidal, the Cuban, versus, where is he? Where is he? Ben Askren, the wrestler. Okay, little bit of backstory. Where do we start? Where do we start? Little bit of backstory. Ben Askren, where is he? Ben Askren, there. The loudmouth, the big mouth wrestler. For years, Dillian Whyte, Dana White, didn't want him in the UFC. He competed in a lot of other organizations and was always dominant. He would grab his opponent, drag them to the ground, and then keep them there for round after round after round. Yeah, there's an expression, it's called grapple. It's a grapple. I don't want to use the word, it begins with F. He would grapple F his opponents, just keep them there on the ground. They're trying to squirm up, but no. Ben Askren, too good a wrestler, just keep you down. Don't worry about the dad bod. Don't worry about that. He just keep his opponents down on the ground and just grapple the living S-H-U-S-H-I, you know the rest. Grapple the living ish out of him. And Masvidal was on an upward trajectory. He's a veteran fighter, not old, but veteran. He goes way back to the days of the Kimbo Slice, backyard, junkyard scraps. Features in at least one of Kimbo Slice's old videos, not fighting Kimbo, but somebody else. And what's that guy's name? Ray something? Yeah. This Jorge, the Cuban Masvidal, Cuban descent, Masvidal. He's a striker, stand-up guy. Decent grappling, very decent grappling, decent wrestling, nice, slick jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. But it was expected that Ben Askren, this is post-knockout, he doesn't normally look this groggy. It was expected that Ben Askren would do what he always does to people. Never lost. Just get him on the ground and grapple the living ish out of him. But not today. Not today. Not today, my friend. Jorge came out with a flying knee. Flying knee, the bell rang. Got to the center of the octagon. And the first thing he did was leap with the flying knee. As you see there. Ben does what he normally does. Look, he's trying to grab the legs. But no, not today, not today. The knee connected to the side of the jaw, and it was sufficient to discombobulate the guy. Actually, he didn't discombobulate him, he took him out. O-U-T, out. Hit the ground, crumbled to the ground in that. Look, he's still trying to grab the legs. Look at that. He's still in that position. The position he was in when he went for the legs. Trying to pinch him in, get him on the ground, and does what he always does. Not today. Not today, Ben. Big Ben. Not today. Went down, crumpled in a heap. Boom, out. And the thing of it is, Jorge's got to get a bonus for this. Jorge needs a bonus for this. Boom. Checked out the scorecards. Masvidal won by KO. 0 minutes and 5 seconds of the first round. Look, that looks like Kitty's writing. What the hell's going on there? Don't trust that man who wrote this. Kitty's writing. 0 minutes and 5 seconds of the first round. It is a UFC record, the quickest KO in the history of the UFC. The knee was reminiscent of the one that Jose Pele landed. Jose Pele landed, the Brazilian, is reminiscent of the knee that took out Matt Hughes over there in Brazil. But this happened on USA soil in the UFC. Incredible. We was all worried that the exciting Jose Masvidal, the exciting fighter versus the boring grappler. Worried for Jorge. We thought he was gonna get grappled. Like Ben Askren's opponents normally do, but not today, Ben. Not today. The quickest knockout in UFC history. Okay, it's Raphie Dawkins. I'm excited. Combat Radio. If you have not subscribed already, please kindly do so and hit that bell icon. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's Raphie Dawkins Combat Radio. Yeah. And I'm out. Yes. 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 Let me come out to that. Stop sharing. Stop sharing. Boom. Stop sharing that. Let's bring the beats back. I'm going to change up the beat. Hold up. Hold up. Yeah, that's not the final beat. That's just the beat for the moment. That's just the beat for every occasion. I got a beat for every occasion. Un momento. Let me just fix the blinds. What's this here? Let me just fix the blinds. Un momento. Okay. Guess who's back? Right. Okay. Right. So let me just do another mini roll call. For people who just come in. Pablo Diablo. No. Yes. Hold on. Before that. Yes, I've called and returned Johnny Blaze. Johnny Blaze is up in the building. Greetings to the great community. Yes, that's one of the things I'm going to talk about. One of the things I am going to talk about. Briefly, before we get into, I think I'm a little bit high in the mic. 1 2 1 2. I need to be able to. Yeah. That sounds way better. Okay. So Johnny Blaze has joined us, and with Hearn has joined. Johnny Blaze has joined us, and with Hearn has joined us. Heinrich Schmidt says, "Who is Fury going to fight next?" Well, nobody knows. Nobody knows. It could be. It was reputed to be. What's his name? The GW the GW 15-16 guy. But Bob Arum's saying it ain't gonna be him. Interesting. Then who? The GW 15-16 guys, of course, is your man there, your New York, your Brooklyn guy, Big Belly Miller. Who else has joined us? Pablo Diablo up in the building. Chat is active and live. The chat is active and John Daly up in the building. The chat is active and live. Pablo Diablo says, where is he? Says, big up my Midlands done. Yes, Pablo. Big up my Manchester done. Raph, when did I get the wrench? You got the wrench at the beginning of the show. Long-standing listener, viewer, interactor. But every wrench I give out, I'm going to take it from somewhere else. There's only you and Tommy in here. So I'm going to have to take a wrench. I'm going to have to be like some kind of medieval warlord. I'm going to give the sword to one man and take it back from another. Because you showed up to the battle. You showed up to the battle, Toby Bartlett. You've been frequently showing up to the battle. And I'm afraid to say that as you have been anointed with a sword, so will another knight of the round table be relieved of his sword. And I'm going to keep on doing that until people understand and recognize and respect the anointment and the anointment and the responsibility. You don't have to be here every damn time, but for shizzle, let me know. Let me know when you're not going to be here. For goodness sakes, is that too much to ask? Is that too much to ask? Is Cockney cool? Says Heinrich Schmitz. You are most welcome. You have been anointed, Toby Bartlett. Red Glove Militant says you should take Tommy's wrench. You should take Tommy's sword and bestow it unto me. AA Boxing and Blunts up in the building. Now, somebody said, I can't remember who said it. Whoever said it, write your name down in here or just write something. Somebody said it's great to join you, Raph, and the great community. Well, let me tell you something. I'm an analytical guy, and I analyze all that I see, all that I survey. And the other day, I'm so busy with my stuff, with my channel. Excuse me, let me mute the mic because I need to change the mic. I need to change the mic angle. Angle. I analyze all that I see. And the other day, I went channel hopping. I was looking through some lives. And and you know something, I realized I was mildly perturbed because I found out that somebody else was going to start doing a show at the same time of one of my shows. And that person knows that I do the show at the particular time. So I thought, well, why would homeboy do that? And you know, when you just started something, you kind of get concerned. Damn, is he gonna siphon off my people? And then I listened and watched and looked around at some other shows. And let me tell you something, people. Let me kill the music right now, just for a second. When I looked around at the other shows, I realized something. I realized that, yo, there ain't nothing like this. There ain't nothing like this. There's other shows, yeah, but I have successfully, with your assistance, in partnership with my people, in partnership with my people, have created something that is different from the rest. Different from the rest. This one is different from the rest. It's just different, man. And so the realization dawned on me that, yo, you ain't gotta be worried about another man's things. You ain't gotta be worried about another man's things. Just do your thing. Stay in your lane. Let everybody else stay in their lane. This is my lane. And I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. This is a good lane. This is beautiful. I listened to the rest and I came back to this. I prefer this. So we are blessed. This is a beautiful community. This is a beautiful community. No, Toby Wilder's been here for a long time. Long time. Red Glove. Toby Wilder's been here for a long time. Trust me. I have the list. I have the list of the longest listeners. The longest participators. Uh-oh. Ped has saved his sword. Ped has saved his sword. Ped's sword was at risk. Raphie is such a decent bloke, says Heinrich Schmitz. Heinrich Schmitz, I appreciate the appreciation. I appreciate you for being one of the guys, one of the crew, one of the people, one of the team, one of the community, which I, along with you, have created. I know you're just fooling around, Red Glove. I know you're just fooling around. But yeah, ultimately what I'm saying is that I think this is a great community that I have created alongside with you. And I've looked around, mate, and there ain't nothing like it. There ain't nothing like it. I wouldn't swap shoes with some other guy. No problem, Ped. As you see, I have anointed a new hall monitor. He has been anointed with a sword. So I have to take the sword from another. I don't want a band of 1,000 swordsmen. I just want a small band of true people. A small band of knights around the table. So as I anoint one with a sword, I will take the sword from another. But your sword is safe now, Ped. So who? You're older. Your older. I don't know how to pronounce that at all. Your older has joined us. Viso. Follow the money, Eddie. The Earn Cash Hearn has joined us. Quality, not quantity, says Heinrich. He gets it. Okay. So. Cass, the only sword you get, my friend, would be across your neck, my friend. You would be in the stocks. You've watched those old medieval films, have you not? You would be in the stocks. You know what stocks are? You just place your head in there, the wooden stocks, place your hands through. Yeah, someone just clunks the top. You just place the top on, hold you steady, hold you in nicely. Yes, you're nice and steady. No power, no power. Boxing excellence. So we just stocks, just hold you nice and steady, Cass. And the swordman, just one of the swordmen, one of the anointed swordsmen. They take aim, make sure the sword is sharp, and then they come down with the vengeance of Thor. And your head is no more. That's how it works, Cass. That's the only sword you're getting, my friend. That's the only sword you're getting. Okay. Yes, a flogging first. I wouldn't behead him straight away. You get a flogging first, a public flogging. Cass would get a public flogging in front of the women and children in the town square, and give him some time. Exactly, Pablo's got it right. You don't want too many chiefs and not enough Indians. Yeah, so as a sword is bestowed, another is taken away. Systematic flogging. Kaz, we saw what happened to you when the boxing voice anointed you, my friend. You went bat-ish crazy. We know how Raph likes the word systematic. Excuse me. I like to think I'm a systematic operator, my friend. Systematic. Systematic. Okay. So we've warmed in. I think we're very, very warm. And it is warm up in here. Okay. So I just want to show my appreciation. My appreciation. It is, I listened to some other places, and I'm not saying there's no other good ones. There are, but I didn't find this is a unique flavor, my friend. This is a unique flavor. It can't be Xeroxed. It cannot be Xeroxed. This is special. This is special. Ah. Yes, I do. I do notice that, even though I don't pay close tabs. I don't pay close tabs to the PBC as much as I did and as much as I could. I really am just so busy with my own stuff right now. But yes, I did observe that. Kaz started wielding his sword in a highly ungentlemanly manner. Yes, that is correct. Kaz, don't run away. We like to have you here. You like the little voodoo doll. Don't go away, my voodoo doll friend. Okay, there's so much to get into. There's so much to get into. So much to get into. Okay, where do I start? Where do I begin? Pong, 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 pong. And today I haven't even written down. I haven't even written down my topic sheet. I've just put the topic in the title. I've just put the topic in the title. The topics, there they are. There they are. Okay, I'm not even gonna deal with the UFC. I've showed you the video. That will suffice. Sheath your sword. Sheath your sword. So we've dealt with the UFC thing. I can touch on that another time. I have 2 videos. As a matter of fact, you guys, if you're interested in that, if you guys are interested in the UFC 239, We've warmed in so very well that you can go and check out the videos I have made on them. They're in the last 5 or 6 videos in the last, when did I do that? I did that yesterday. So all you have to do is go in the video section and boom, they are there. So I'm not going to delve into it today as I had anticipated. We have warmed in very, very well. Okay, so we've touched on the UFC thing. Now we're going to go into, I think we're going to go straight into, oh, I will recap what I've been saying. I've been around, I've looked around, and no, this is a unique flavor which I love, which I have shaped and created along with you. Okay, and now we're going to switch it up. We are going to switch it up. We're going to switch up the music. We're going to go over now to the boxing. Okay, right. Now, you're going to have to tell me if the music is drowning out the voice. I don't think it is. I think it's a nice balance in my headphones at least. But now we're switching over to the boxing. Okay, so we're going to talk Dillian Whyte and the Tyson Fury saga. We're going to talk Dillian Whyte. We're going to talk Dillian Whyte and the Tyson Fury saga. Levels are good, says Tommy. Good. Unique flavor. Unique flavor like Haribo and mango. I don't deal with the Haribo, but the mango, the fresh fruits, the fresh tropical fruits, all day. The mix and blend is blessed. Okay. So. So we're gonna have to get into this. Okay, so the lines are open. Who wants to join me in dissecting this? I can do it on my own, don't worry. You know that Raphie can do the lone wolf thing easy. It can be so easy. But I figure people would want to join. Who wants to join me live chopping up this topic? Put your name, let me know who wants to join in with me to chop up this topic. We need to chop it up. I need at least 1, maybe 2. Guys, stop playing coy. Who wants to join me to chop up this topic? Okay, TommyTemper has volunteered. Link. Let me send the link now. TommyTemper is one of the few people that can just write it in simply in the designated window and it goes through just like that. It's very strange. It doesn't work for most people. Invite sent. Boom, boom, boom. Right, who else wants to jump in? Does anybody else want to jump in? Moderators get the first pick. What? What do you mean they have to put your kitten down? What's going on? What's going on? Toby Bartlett, do you wish to join? TommyTemper is there sitting quietly muted, which is very good. You don't even hear him come in. He comes in stealth mode, which is excellente. Okay. Toby Bartlett, do you wish to join in on the live chat? I'm sorry to hear that, Ped, about your pet. What? How did your cat break a leg? Sorry, we're gonna get into the. First of all, let me greet Tommy. TommyTemper, how do you do, sir? TommyTemper, how do you do, sir? TommyTemper, I think you're on mute, my good friend.
Oh, sorry, Raph. I didn't realize I was chatting away. How are you doing?
No problem at all. No problem at all, Tom. I'll talk to you in a second. Let me just see what's going on with Pet. So he jumped off the bed with a scare. I don't know if it's broken. He just can't walk in his front end. So you mean both of the front legs of your kitten are damaged? Both legs? Damn. Jumped off the bed. That's not really a high height, though. That's not a high height. Unless your bed's on top of a skyscraper, I mean, that's a low height. Both paws, the front ones, I think. Oh, the right one mostly, okay. I shouldn't have imagined he would have broke his leg with such a short fall. I think it's just a sprain, my friend. I don't think it's gonna be a life sentence. I certainly hope not. You have to go to the vets at 10:20 and do some night service thing now? Wow. Craig McNulty is in the building. Okay, so let me go over to TommyTemper. Okay, I will open up the live invitation to anyone else. Anybody else wants a live invitation? Where's Red Glove Militant? Red Glove Militant. Do you wish to discuss the topic live, sir? Yes, I got an emergency call out, says Ped. I mean, yeah, Ped. Hopefully all is well, Ped. Hopefully all is well. Hopefully all will be well. Okay, TommyTemper. It is you and I. So we're going to be chopping it up. We're going to be chopping up what happened. Hold on a second. Let me go into another screen. Let me see. Yes, this exploded today. This news exploded today as I was uploading around lunchtime. Yeah, I thought it was going to be UFC based, but the news exploded today that where are we? There we are. The news exploded today that the Boxing Jedi, good evening to you, sir. How do you do? So good to have you. So the news exploded today, TommyTemper, that Tyson Fury had not signed a one-fight deal to fight Dillian Whyte, but he had signed a two-fight deal. Were you surprised?
Sorry, Raph, a two-fight deal with who?
Deontay Wilder, sorry.
Oh, right.
So It's 2 fights now. We thought that we were told about the February 20 date, 2020. I think it's February 22, 2020. We were told about that, but we didn't know that it was a 2-fight deal. He revealed that today.
What's the original contract, or how? Chop it up for me,
I'll
so I
chop it
don't
up here.
stumble
No
over
problem
myself.
at all. No problem at all. I'll chop it up for you and the listeners. So today, okay, so my bad. I said Dillian Whyte. So what happened is that Tyson Fury revealed today. Well, it was revealed last night that he had signed to fight Deontay Wilder in February of 2020. That was revealed. What he revealed today was that it's a 2-fight deal that he signed. So he's not just fighting Deontay Wilder in February 2020. They've got another deal as well after that for the 3rd fight.
Ah, I see. So Fish Eyes wasn't lying when he said before the first fight about the trilogy. That was the goal all along.
The trilogy, I'm aware that the trilogy was the goal all along. I'm aware of that. Of that. But when the news yesterday was revealed that Fury had signed to fight Deontay Wilder, we assumed it was 1-fight deal. We assumed that was the rematch and that was that.
Yeah.
So, but what's happened is he signed for the 2nd fight, for the rematch, plus he signed for the 3rd fight.
And are those fights going to be back-to-back, or are they going to have a cherry in between?
We don't have any details of the scheduling of when the 3rd fight is going to take place. We don't have any detail of the scheduling when the 3rd fight is going to take place, but according to Fury, the 2nd and the 3rd fight are two. The 2nd fight comes with a deal for the 3rd fight as well.
But I'm just wondering, is the 3rd fight dependent on the outcome of the 2nd fight?
Well, if you look at it, if Deontay Wilder wins the 2nd fight, then that means that he's won one and they've drawn. The other ones have been a draw. So
and he still has the belt.
And he still has the belt. So a 3rd fight, kinda in some weird kind of way, means that if one person wins the rematch, and another person wins the 3rd fight, then it's still a draw.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Then you have to have a 4th fight.
Yes, it's still a draw, but if Fury gets knocked out, people are going to turn around and say, "Yeah, Wilder got the best of him out of the 3 fights."
Well, yes, the best, yes, or the best out of the 2. If Wilder knocks out Fury, then you could say, well, that would be enough. But clearly, these guys want to drag it out. They want to drag it out. They want to. They apparently seem to enjoy fighting each other. But I put it to you that even if Wilder knocks out Fury, Wilder would be more than happy to give Fury the 3rd match, the trilogy match. Wilder is happy fighting Tyson Fury because he knows Tyson Fury can't knock him out.
Yeah, maybe, but I see not a fork in the road. I see a problem with this, the whole timing of this, because what we're overlooking is the assumption maybe that Ruiz might win in the rematch with Joshua, and Wilder might actually go for undisputed after that.
Okay, well, let's look at that. Yeah. Wilder feels very, very safe with Fury. But let's look at your hypothesis, and it's a real hypothesis. What if Ruiz beats Joshua in their rematch? Well, then we have an interesting situation where all of the belts are in the PBC stable. All of the belts are under Al Haymon's PBC. They're all in-house. So, but the thing there is this. So Al Haymon has all the belts under the PBC stable. Ruiz is not a loyal PBC guy, however. He's just come from Top Rank. He's just left Bob Arum. He just got out of his contract with Bob Arum's Top Rank. So Ruiz is not some little punk guy who's just gonna sit down and say, yes, sir, no, sir. Yes, I appreciate your help, Bob Arum. Arum hasn't really done much for him. He was just over there. He just moved over there. And Arum was not instrumental in Ruiz getting the contract to fight Anthony Joshua. Al Haymon was not an instrumental figure in that. So the question becomes, how loyal is Ruiz? Is Ruiz going to be a little PBC boy? Is he going to be a little PBC boy like all the rest, who just sit down and wait for, fight once a year or maybe twice if they're lucky, and just accept what's being given to them? Is he going to be that guy? I don't think so. We have already seen. Let's have a look at the personality of Andy Ruiz. We have already seen that he's had a personality shift since he's won the belt. Andy Ruiz was always known as some humble little guy, soft-spoken Mexican American. I'm proud of my heritage, We do this, yes. No, he's changed, he's switched. You never really know a man until he's got a little bit of power. And with the little bit of power, he's got a lot of power. The 3 belts. With those 3 belts, we have seen a personality shift in Andy Ruiz Jr. No longer is he the humble little Mexican American. No. He's talking about he wants 50 mil. His head has exploded exponentially. He's no soft little lad. So now his head is exploded. He knows he's the 3 belt. He's the unified heavyweight champion. And my prediction, he's not going to be one of Al Haymon's little boys. So how does that impact on a deal, striking a deal with Deontay Wilder for unification? Not unification, undisputed. Mm-hmm. How does that impact? I put it to you, TommyTemper, and the crew, and everyone listening in the future. I put it to you that Ruiz may not necessarily play ball and go for unification next. He may not, because I can easily see. Can you see Deontay Wilder fighting in Mexico?
Well, if he won't fight outside America as a champion, no, I don't see him fighting in Mexico.
Right. And the reason I ask you that question is because Andy Ruiz has stated his express desire to fight in Mexico. He wants to fight in front of his people, La Raza, in Mexico. And let's put it this way. If Andy Ruiz had fought Joseph Parker in Mexico, who do you think, the exact same fight, a punch for punch, every single thing the same, but that fight took place in Mexico. Who do you think would have won that fight versus Andy Ruiz?
Oh, yeah, home decision every time.
Home decision every time. It's a no-brainer. You don't need a PhD to know that. Andy Ruiz would have won that fight. Do you think that Deontay Wilder doesn't know that?
But this is another thing we can consider, right? Let's say either one of us was a boxing promoter, Raph, right?
Yeah.
And we had two heavyweights, and one held 3 belts, the other held 1 belt.
Mm-hmm.
Is it more prosperous for one guy to hold all the belts, or is it better to have 2 fighters both as champions from the position of a promoter financially?
I've thought about that, and it's an excellent point, because we know the answer is to spread your risk. You don't. What's the expression? You don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
You don't put all your eggs in one basket. So I was going to come to that. I was going to say to you, as Al Haymon, well, the same question you just posed. As Al Haymon, is it not more beneficial for you to have 2 heavyweight champions rather than 1? I think the answer is a no-brainer. You're going to want 2.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You're going to want 2. You want to spread your risk. It's a simple, basic business concept. You spread your risks. So, great question and great point. As the so-called advisor, in reality, the head honcho, we know fully well that he is going to spread his risks. Get This Smoke is up in the building. He's everywhere. Everywhere I look, I see Get This Smoke. He's everywhere. I was looking at the old Cali Enigma. I was looking at the Cali Enigma video. Like I said, I've been looking around. You got to do your market research, see what other people are doing. And I saw Get This Smoke. Get This Smoke. You're everywhere, my friend. You was up in Cali Enigma's thing, using your LDBC name, Organics. You was using your Organics name. It was quite interesting. Because Get This Smoke said that was talking about the offer which Ortiz refused. It was funny. I was gonna get into that. Yes, Oakland. I was gonna get into that. I was gonna get into that in this show. I may do it later. If Get This Smoke had come in earlier, that was going to be one of the topics. I think Get This Smoke was saying that Ortiz wouldn't have turned down $5 million. Well, it turned out that Ortiz turned down $7 million. So that was quite funny. But yeah, back on topic. We know it is a basic business principle to spread your risks. Spread your risks. Spread your risks. So it is only common sense. I don't see that unification. I don't see that fight for undisputed being a priority. Tommy, I don't see that fight for undisputed being a priority over at PBC at all.
I'll be honest. I don't. I think if we do get an undisputed champ, they won't stay undisputed for long.
Somewhere for 30 seconds. I gotta go for 30 seconds. So keep the mic. The floor is yours.
Okay. Yeah. I don't honestly see any having a boxer stay as undisputed for maybe more than one defense, because one of the mandatories are going to do their normal bullshit and strip him under some BS rule, and to have all the belts under one guy, the fans want it, but the promoters, the businesses, the sanctioning bodies, I don't think they want it. It's just, it's a messy situation. But what I'm trying to say is that it's in their interest to break up the Infinity Stones, so to speak.
Yes, indeed, Tommy. I do concur. You see, I can see a different scenario. I can see all of a sudden Deontay Wilder's talking about early retirement. He still don't want it with Joshua. let me diverge for a second. Let me go off track for a second before I get back on track. Before I forget this. You see, you have to bear in mind, Deontay Wilder has missed out on at least 100 million, and he doesn't seem to mind. He doesn't seem to mind that he's missed out on $100 million.
Okay, but
seem to mind.
Has he really missed out on 100 million? Because let's rewind the clock and say hypothetically he'd signed that deal and he got 20 million for Ruiz. Sorry, not Ruiz. Brazil. Right. Let's say he'd beaten Brazil.
Yeah.
Joshua got beaten. So where does that leave the other two 40 million pound payday fight?
Well, if let's say, let's rewind the clock. Let's say he had accepted that offer, because I can't exactly remember when that 100 mil offer came about. I can't remember. Did that 100, and this is for the chat as well, did that $100 million offer come about before the Big Baby Miller fight? Did it come about?
Yeah, I think it did.
I think
it must have.
I think it did.
Have.
I think it did. So he wasn't supposed to fight Big Baby Miller. He was supposed to fight Wilder. He was supposed to fight Wilder. So if he'd have signed for that 100 million, there would be no Big Baby Miller fight. That would have been Wilder's fight.
No. But I, if memory serves me correctly, Raph, I think part of that deal was a 3-fight deal with DAZN, where the first fight would have been with Brazil, which he fought and beat, but that would have been for 20 million, and it was reported that he only made 10. Forget about the back end money; that's just speculation. So I'm not even going to entertain that. So he'd lost out in 10 million. But the fact that Joshua got defeated, where does that leave the rest of the fortune?
Well, hold on. I want to nail down something. Because I'm not sure on the timeline. When the $100 million offer was made to Joshua, to Deontay Wilder, so was that not prior to the Big Baby Miller fight?
Was Miller a mandatory or a voluntary?
He was a voluntary.
Okay.
So, John Daly, was the $100 million offer deal to Deontay Wilder, was that not prior to the negotiations for Jarrell Miller? I'm not sure. I can't remember for sure.
Yeah, we were talking middle of March where he rejected the offer.
Middle of March this year.
Yeah.
Oh, John Daly says Miller was already signed before Dan's offered. Okay, so that helps me. Okay, right. So that means that the Miller, yeah. So that means that the Ruiz fight was going to happen anyway. No, the Miller fight was going to happen anyway, even if Wilder signed for the $100 million offer.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Right. Okay. So fine. So Wilder signed for the 100 mil. Wilder has signed for the 100 mil. Now, Donovan Williams in the building. Wilder has signed for the 100 mil. Anthony Joshua is scheduled to fight Miller. Miller does what he did. We rewind in the clock, but Miller, everything goes exactly the same. Miller shoots up with the GW15, 16, the human growth hormone, the
EPO.
the EPO, the EPO, all of that chisel. So he does all of that, and he gets kicked out of the bout. The only thing, so now we're going to talk about the mistake. So looking back, hindsight is hindsight is 2020. So the mistake there was taking on a short guy. The short guy in Ruiz, a short guy like Povetkin, a short guy like Takam. So that was the mistake of Eddie Hearn. That was the mistake of people like me who said, yes, Ruiz is the best guy out there. He's good. He's really good. That was a collective mistake. I was advocating Ruiz. Looking back, Joshua should have done what Deontay Wilder done. Should have done what Fury did. He should have picked a cherry. Yes, Breezel was a mandatory, but we all know that Wilder doesn't fight mandatories unless he wants to. So even though...
Or unless they're on PBC.
So he'd been shirking that mandatory for how long? For a long time. And then he decided, yeah, let me call my buddy Jose Suleiman and say, yeah, I'm ready. Send me that cherry Brazil. Let me get a mandatory out the way. Send me that cherry Brazil. So now he fights a cherry. Deontay Wilder fights a cherry. Tyson Fury fights a cherry. And they get through clean. And Joshua goes and fights a damn good fighter who most people don't know about, never heard of. Andy Ruiz. Andy who? He gets beat by a quality fighter, and people think the guy's a bum. I put it to you, Tommy. That on reflection, that was a mistake.
Oh yeah, of course it was a mistake because he ended up getting defeated. Joshua did.
Yeah, and it was also a mistake because they didn't understand the concept, the principle of taking a strategic cherry. And if you'd have said to me, don't get it twisted, if you'd have said to me back then, Joshua should fight the cherry, I'd have said, hell no. No. I'd have
Who did Joshua fight before that?
Who did Joshua fight before who?
Ruiz.
Before Ruiz, he fought Povetkin.
Was it Povetkin? Oh, it was Povetkin.
So over there was a no cherry zone, and I put it to you. I think I'm going to have to do an expose. Then I'm going to have to arrange a special. Then I'm going to have to do some research in champions taking cherries every now and then. But my position has shifted. I can't say definitively, but I get the feeling that strategic cherries have been used in the history of boxing. I can't say that categorically because I haven't done it.
As a general rule, I would say that's correct, yeah.
I would totally say that's correct. But, you know, over here we want facts and figures. We want spreadsheets. So I'm going to have to do an investigation into the strategic use of cherries in the history of boxing. Maybe I can get boxing librarian on, and we can talk about the strategic use of cherries in boxing, and maybe even heavyweight boxing to pin it down even more. But it is my suspicion, it is my belief that every now and then the champion has taken not a total cherry, but somewhat of a cherry.
An easy touch.
Yes, a relatively easy touch, not too easy. We're not talking Schwartz easy, but that's just ridiculous. We're not talking Schwartz easy, but we're talking just some middle of the table guy. What are
you talking about? Schwartz was ranked number 2 by the WBO.
Yeah, like 102 by everybody else.
So, 150 in BoxRec.
Oh gosh. So yeah, my view, I was somewhat naive. My point of view has changed. I think when in Joshua's position, yes, indeed, that did separate him from the pack. But sometimes, listen, you have to take safe options. I'm sorry, but sometimes you have to take safe, because look at the reality of the situation now. Joshua fights what aficionados know to be a very good boxer, but the masses didn't know about him. So to them, he was a cherry. in their mind, Joshua got beat by a cherry. But the guy wasn't a cherry. The guy was a legit quality boxer.
Well, here's the thing, right? This is how I compare Andy Ruiz to similar sort of opponents. If you take probably the most, if you take Povetkin, right? Now, Povetkin had success, but he gassed out.
Yes.
So potentially, if he was younger, he could have given a better fight and been more successful.
Yes.
Potentially, right?
Yes.
Same thing with Ortiz. You can make the same argument. Obviously, it's a different opponent.
Yeah.
And then the other one is, if you look at Ruiz, Ruiz is young enough to say that he's coming into his peak, but he still has the engine because he's in his is he still in his late 20s?
I think
late 30 yet,
or maybe just touched 30.
Yeah, so he's basically peaking or close to peaking.
Yes.
So he's pretty much as good as he's going to get, give or take.
Yes.
Unlike the other guys. Yeah.
So what's your point though?
My point is it's about level. People talk about levels in boxing and experience.
Yeah.
But in heavyweight, you need the youth for the engine.
Yes.
Because you're carrying that much weight. No pun intended.
Yeah. Well, no, but I think Ruiz is going to get better though. I think Ruiz is going to.
Yeah, he is. But I'll tell you one thing. For him to lose a lot of body fat, I think would be a mistake because
I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think he's going to lose body fat. But carry on.
No, but if he loses too much weight, I think it's going to take away from his power, and I'll explain why. Because he's so heavy. When he throws his punches above his shoulder height, the weight of his body pulls him down into the floor very much like a big rear spoiler does on a car.
Yeah.
And if he gets too light, he won't have that kind of resistance force coming from the ground because he's not as heavy as he once was. So I see him losing power if he loses too much weight.
And here's the thing though. Here's the thing. I agree with that. But here's the thing. I was on the Boxing Voice. Did I interview Ruiz? I may have interviewed Ruiz on the Boxing Voice.
Oh, okay.
I may have interviewed I think I interviewed Ruiz on the Boxing Voice. I'll have to dig that out. Was
that after the Parker fight or something?
Sorry?
Was that after the Parker fight or that time period?
No. No, it was way later. It was after. It was early this year. It was early this year. I think it was Ruiz. Was it Ruiz? No, sorry, it was Kawanaki. My bad.
Okay.
It was Kawanaki. My bad. Okay, but Ruiz went on went on the Boxing Voice around that time period, and he said he wanted to lose weight, and he was aiming to trim down and this and that and the other thing, and he didn't. He gained weight. He didn't lose any weight at all. So he's talking about it, but he's been talking about it for a long time, and nothing's happened in that regard. So basically, I think, damn, I was gonna pull up a video clip of so many things that I can do. I'll do it in a future show. I was gonna pull up a video clip of do you watch Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson? His podcast.
I've heard about it. I haven't actually caught it yet, I'll be honest.
I recommend that to anybody. Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. Not the earlier episodes. They were just finding their feet. But now they've got into a special groove. In fact, the one I would recommend to you most, to anybody listening who wants to get into that. I've seen Shole Bofin over there. I think he was in a live chat over there. The one I would recommend people to dip their toes into, Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson, would be his episode with Rashad Evans. They go deep. They go very, very deep. I'll leave it at that. But it was in that episode. Was it in that episode? I think it was in that episode when Mike Tyson was talking about his diet, because Rashad Evans was a champion in the UFC. And I think it was in that episode where Mike said, yeah, man, you know, when I finish training, the trainer would say, yeah, Mike, I want you to go home and have a steak. Yes, Shole Bofin confirms that. Shole Bofin is a Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. He checks out over there. We saw each other over there one time. Had a little chat. And he said, Mike, when you finish training, you go home tonight. I want you to have a steak. And Mike said, yeah, man, sure. I have a steak. I have steak and salad. I love steak and salad. Mike said he'd go home and he'd grab a Burger King. He'd have a Burger King. I think he may have said he'd have a Burger King and a Snickers. He'd have a Burger King and a Snickers. He said, I defended my title on Burger King. I defended my title on Burger King. So now you know where I'm going with this, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know where I'm going with this. Basically, Mike Tyson was eating dirty at his peak. He was eating dirty because them guys are burning up so many calories. I don't know what's happened with Ruiz. I mean, the calories showing it. Them guys are burning up so many calories that probably to get their calorific requirement, they probably need a little bit of dirty stuff in there sometimes. Some of them depend on the metabolism. So
yeah.
So Ruiz, how I see Ruiz proceeding from here. Listen, he's a multimillionaire now. He's not just a millionaire, he's a multimillionaire. In that one fight, he got something like $5 million, which is more than he probably has combined, which is almost certainly more than he has. Yeah, surely both said the one with LL Cool J. Yeah. I was a big LL Cool J fan back in the day before I was Cool J. So yeah, as a kid, I still got some of the cassette tapes. CDs weren't even invented back then. So yeah, eating real talk. CDs weren't invented. So
you're not talking about 8-track tapes, are you talking about cassette tapes?
We're talking about cassette tapes, standard cassette tapes. We're not talking about your dad's 8-track in the car, or Tina. No. So Mike Tyson at his peak, he was eating dirty. He was winning champ. He said, I was winning champ. I was defending my championship on Burger King. So getting back to Ruiz, I see him still eating dirty, but eating a bit cleaner, a little bit cleaner. He may have a nutritionalist on board for the next fight. Does that mean he'll lose a little bit of weight? Yeah, he probably will lose a little bit of weight. But as a fat boy that he is, he's always been a fat boy. I saw some pictures of him as a kid. He's been a perpetual fat boy. As a fat boy, he's going to have his nutritionist give him all these beans and salads and whatnot. But he's going to be sneaking those Snickers bars in when he sees fit. So he may lose a few pounds, but his training is going to be better, even better. Mm-hmm. His diet is going to be better, but he'll still be sneaking that fat boy diet in when nobody's looking. So I see him coming back better, not necessarily slim. You're not going to be slim. He'll lose a few pounds, but he's not going to lose much. So we're going to see a better trained Ruiz in the rematch. You know, he's got everything. You just been given $5 million. You've got everything to play for. You have everything to play for. Your training is going to be better. You're going to be excited to go to training. You're gonna get 10 mil this time. You're gonna double your money, and then you can treble your money after that. You are going to be buzzing off your tits, my friend. True or false?
Oh dear.
True or false?
Yeah. You'll be high as a kite.
You're gonna be as high as a kite, Tommy.
Yeah, but my only problem is, I mean, how tall is Ruiz? 6'2", 6'3"? What's his height?
They say he's supposed to be 6'2".
Right. And a guy that's 6'2", that's heavy, doesn't have that good mobility, doesn't have really that good head movement. He shouldn't be that hard to keep at bay. I mean, if you box right, you should be able to keep him on the end of your punches.
If Joshua did what he was supposed to do, if Joshua had done what he was supposed to do, then things would have gone according to plan. But Joshua do what he was supposed to do for whatever reason. Was he concussed in the last week of training? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. I think so. Some other people think not. But to me, he wasn't the same guy. He wasn't right in that fight. For whatever the reason was, we don't know what the reason was, but we do know he was not right in that fight.
Well, I really hope that Joshua does better in the rematch, because there's going to be a big question mark over his wins if he doesn't.
Question mark in what respect?
As in, did he with his level of ability, did he just come along at the right time, and was it the perfect storm for him to pick up 3 belts the way he did?
Well,
you know what I mean. People are going to question his legacy, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I would have to respectfully disagree, because he did what he did. You can't take back the performance. You can't take back him getting up off the floor against Klitschko. You can't take back him surviving that hammer on the jaw from Dillian Whyte. You can't take back him taking those hands from Povetkin. Everything that he did cannot be taken back. He did everything that he did. If he is involved in a bad style matchup, remember Muhammad Ali lost to Frazier. Little Frazier.
Yeah, but Joe Frazier was champion at the time, no?
Yes, he was, and Muhammad Ali had just come back off his ban from the sport because he didn't go to Vietnam. So Joe Frazier broke Muhammad Ali's jaw. Muhammad Ali came back to beat him, yeah, fine, but there were still hellacious, hellish fights. So there are such things as bad style matchups.
There are, but the problem we've got is that we're...
Just let me finish this.
Sorry.
To amplify that point, George Foreman made Joe Frazier, who gave Muhammad Ali hell. George Foreman made Joe Frazier look like a little puppy. The same guy who gave Muhammad Ali hell, George Foreman, came along and made him look like a dad wrestling with his child. And then Muhammad Ali fights George Foreman and knocks him out. So, style matchups. Joe Frazier was a bad style matchup for Muhammad Ali. Gave him hell. George Foreman comes and gets him out of there in a couple of rounds. Muhammad Ali comes along and knocks George Foreman out. So, we're talking about, get this smoke said Ali lost to Holmes. Of course he lost to Holmes. He was a
old man.
Old man by that stage. Of course he lost to Holmes. How is that of any significance or pertinence? So, what's the dub in the background? Yeah, man, it's just something I downloaded, bro. I just downloaded a special dub. I haven't heard anybody with it before, and hopefully I never hear anybody with it in the future. Ross Clark. That's just before you ask me the name of it. It's got no name. It's got no name. I can't see any name on it, bro. Otherwise, I tell you honestly. So Ruiz, I put it to you that Ruiz could beat Joshua for the second time. It's entirely possible.
Yeah, very, very much so. I'm actually wondering who's the favorite right now.
Who's the favorite right now?
Yeah.
Who I have as the favorite? Listen.
No, the betting
favorite. Well, I don't know who the betting favorite is, but I will say this. I will say this to you. To me, it's a 50-50 fight. And the reason I say that is because Joshua didn't do what he was supposed to do the first time, and I cannot assume that he was going to do what he's supposed to do the second time. I can't assume that. I'm not going to assume that. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a 50-50 fight.
Yep. The odds are going to be close, though.
Yeah, the odds are going to be close. It's going to be like 50-50. Well, yeah, they're going to be very close. So to me, I'm not assuming that. You see, the champion is Ruiz. Ruiz is the champion. You have to give the champion respect, and Ruiz is the champion. Therefore, I'm giving the champion, who is Ruiz, his due respect. I have him as at least 50-50. As a matter of fact, I have him as the favorite, truth be told. I have him as the favorite because there's a psychological. I hope he's not the. I hope that Joshua goes out and does what he should have done in the first place. But I'm not banking on that because he didn't do it in the first place. He didn't do what he should have done in the first place. So, so how do I know that he's going to do what he should have done the first time? How do I know he's going to do it the second time?
Okay, let me play devil's advocate. Are you going to put a bet on Ruiz?
Sure. Well, I bet on it going to points last time, so in a sense that was a bet on Ruiz surviving. So I kind of did bet on Ruiz the first time. I'm gonna put a little wager on both of them, depending on. I'll adjust the bet depending on what the odds are. But I'll put a little wager on both of them, so that whichever wins.
Spread your bet.
I'm gonna spread my bet. Yeah, who's this? Got a sign from God. Ped says he got a sign from God today. Crazy. What was the sign? Ped? I'm curious. What was the sign? So yeah. So hopefully he'll be okay. Okay. So yeah. So what I'm saying is that you have to give the champ respect, and the champ is right now. The champ is Ruiz. So I don't know. I think we went on a slight tangent. Oh yeah, I know why. Because we was talking about what would have happened if Wilder. Oh yeah, we've gone totally on a tangent. We were talking about what would have happened if Wilder had signed 100 mil. If Wilder had signed up,
yes.
If Wilder had signed up for the 100 mil, Joshua. Oh yeah, I know how we got there, because Joshua went and fought. He was supposed to fight Big Belly Miller. Then Big Belly Miller took all those PEDs, and then yeah, guys, are you moderators not on the show? Are you reminding people to hit the like button? Moderators not on the show, are you reminding people to hit the like button? So, what was I saying? Yeah, so Miller did what he did. Took those peds. And yeah, so he dropped out. And then in comes, oh yeah, we're talking about the choice. We're talking about the choice of Ruiz. Okay, so my new philosophy, yeah, good to have you back, Ped and Toby Bartlett. Don't forget to remind people periodically to do the thing, yeah? You gotta remind them to do the thing every 15 minutes or so. Yeah, so they picked, so now we come to my philosophy on cherry picks, my new philosophy on cherry picks. My new philosophy on cherry picks is that throughout the history of sport, boxing sport, heavyweight boxing, there has been the strategic use of the cherry. Yes, excellent, Ped. Good to have you back, my friend. There has been the strategic use of cherries. Between Shelly Finkel and Al Haymon, there is 60 years. There is 60 years of boxing experience, boxing management, boxing knowledge. With Eddie Hearn and his father, maybe you've got 30 years. Maybe push it out 40. I think those extra two decades told. Those extra 2 decades on the PBC side, the Al Haymon and the Shelly Finkel side, I think that told. We've seen Wilder on a steady diet of cherries. I'm not advocating that for AJ, but with hindsight, knowing what I know now, when you make your big debut overseas, you'd be very wise to have a strategic cherry. If he had had a strategic cherry, he would still be holding the belt. Admittedly, we thought he'd perform how he normally performs. He did not. If he performed how he normally performed, then I believe he would still be the unified champion. So it is reasonable to expect that everybody thought he was going to perform like he normally performs. And if that were the case, he would still be I believe he'd still be the unified champion. He did not perform as he usually performs. And as a consequence of that, he is no longer the unified champion. So it is fair to surmise that Eddie Hearn thought he'd perform to his normal level, in which case Ruiz was a good pick. Older and wiser heads will know, and we're all older and wiser now, will know that when you take someone out of their environments, strange things can happen, and strange things did happen. So all of us being older and wiser, we now know that he should have perhaps had a strategic cherry. He should have fought somebody like, I don't know, who's the WBA #1 guy? The WBA. What is it? Who is he again? WBA #1 guy. I forgot his name. He's high ranking. Yeah. What is it, Hunter? Is it Hunter? Where's my box? Where's my box?
Is Hunter American?
Hunter. Yeah. Where's my box, Rick? Who was in the chat? Who's in the chat? What are they saying in the chat? What are they saying in the chat? The 5-second delay, I know that, but still, I'm not even gonna.
Oh, you have 5? You're lucky. Mine's like 8.
Yeah, it might be that bad. So yeah, so knowing what we know now, going overseas, foreign territory, yeah. They should have been wiser. But like I said, that's on hindsight. I was an advocate for Ruiz. On hindsight, knowing what we know now, yeah, maybe someone less accomplished. Just like the Shelly Finkel model, the Al Haymon model, and the Top Rank model. Yeah, you can't be going for the best guys all of the time. Simple as that. So back onto the Deontay Wilder situation. So if they had been wiser and they picked somewhat of a cherry, listen, I said it's 50-50, but I hope Joshua wins. I hope he wins. I hope he performs to his level, which he did not do the last time. If Joshua performs to his level, he beats Ruiz. Not a walk in the park, but he could make it easier for himself by staying behind the jab, sticking behind the jab, and when he gets into mid-range, hit and miss. Hit and change your angle. Yeah, hit and change your angle. Go to the side, either the left or the right, hit and change your angle. And keep it long range. Fight in the way you fought Joseph Parker is the simplest way to put it. Yeah? Fight in the way you fought Joseph Parker. Hit and miss. Hit and out of range. In range, out of range. In range, out of range. Long range though. Long range.
Raph, have you seen AJ recently in training?
Yes. I've done a video on his recent training. Yes, I have.
Yeah, he looks a lot lighter, doesn't he? He looks better.
Yeah, he looks better. He'd have to look better though. He's got to take. He's got to take it seriously. Yeah, people have been. Who said that? D-Bro said people taking the out of his publicized workouts. So people taking the mickey out of his workouts. I mean, that's only a portion of the workout. Small portion. Because there's a workout with him. I did a video on it of him walking backwards on the treadmill and punching while he's walking backwards, and people going, "What's the point in walking? What's the point in walking backwards in a straight line? Well, what do you expect him to do on a treadmill? Walk diagonally?"
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with walking diagonally on a treadmill and falling off like a crab. If they invent a treadmill that allows you to walk diagonally, then fine. I mean, I'm sure it exists. I mean, a big wide treadmill, industrial treadmill, yeah, where you can walk diagonally, fair enough. But I don't think that exists. Well, maybe a conveyor belt, an industrial conveyor belt for cakes in a cake factory. Maybe, I don't know. Even then, they're not that wide. Maybe you can ship one of those into the gym. So, a cherry. Should have had somewhat of a cherry, not total cherry, somewhat of a cherry on his New York debut. Okay, he takes somewhat of a cherry on his New York debut. Somewhat of a cherry, yeah. AJ's got to work on knocking Ruiz out. Yeah, AJ needs to knock Ruiz out. He put him flat on his ass last time. AJ did. And then rushed in like a madman, lost his head, but his leg was already lost, probably, like a madman. D-Bro says, is Ruiz overlooking Joshua? I think so. It was nice and easy. It was an easy day's 5 million. It was an easy night's work for Ruiz last time. So I think it's entirely probable that he's overlooking Joshua this time around. Also, the short notice thing. Yeah, there's a talk that Joshua was stayed up late the night before the fight, watching tapes on Ruiz. That is very peculiar and bizarre. He's staying up late watching tapes on Ruiz. He should have had that thing down pat. They should have been watching tapes in between training sessions, but they have 3 training sessions a day. So that's 3 in between those training sessions. There should have been watching tapes on Ruiz. Should have known him inside out. Did that happen? I don't know. That's down to Robert McCracken. So,
to be fair, Raph, any champion should be studying all his potential opponents, all the ones that are up there.
Yeah, but you're going to be specifically studying the guy that you are fighting, and you should know him inside out. Although there's different points of view on that, because some fighters say, not just boxers, but fighters in general say that you can keep on watching a guy and that can get into your head. All of his good points can get into your head. So not every fighter likes to watch too much tape on their opponents. It's different styles. I'll go back to the Mike Tyson video with Rashad Evans. I recommend everybody check that one out. It's beautiful. And a question was asked, how come some fighters they kick ass in the gym? Mike Tyson was talking about getting his ass kicked in the gym by certain fighters, and then that same fighter would go out and fight against a mediocre opponent and get his ass kicked. And Mike Tyson and they were asked Mike, well, what's that all about? Oh yeah, and it was Rashad Evans who said, well, yeah, because the question was to Rashad as well. And Rashad says, I've thought about that. And one thing I've noticed is that some guys are just now. Some guys, when it comes to a fight, they want just drop it, bring it on right now. Let's go right now. And then some guys, they like notice. They want to know, yeah, I've got 12 weeks training. I'm going to fight you on such a date. But the guys who want it just now, right now, that time actually works against them. They have time to think, ponder. Oh no, I'm going to be fighting such and such. The badass in the gym is the just now guy, right now. Come on, bring it on, right now. That's the badass in the gym. That's how the badass in the gym likes it. You give that badass 3 months to think about it, and by the time he gets to the fight, he's a wreck. Doesn't perform. But yet, if you'd have given him 1 day's notice, he'd have probably kicked the ass of the guy who kicked his ass. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So some guys, they don't want to watch too much tape. Their opponent gets into the head, it messes with them. You see what I'm saying? So there's different ways. There's different fighters prefer comfortable with different approaches to that. So yeah. But anyway, so we get back onto, we move forward from the cherry now. Okay, Joshua's had his cherry and he's fighting, and Wilder has accepted 100 million. Wilder fights Breezel for 20 mil instead of whatever he got. They say it's 10 mil. I don't know if I believe that. If he didn't get 10 mil for Fury, which was pay-per-view, I don't see how he could have got 10 mil for Breezel. What are your thoughts on that?
It was reported 9.5, and to be honest, that was that fight even pay-per-view?
No. For Breezel,
yeah.
Breezel wasn't pay-per-view.
I'd like someone to be able to break down the numbers for me and say he got this much from this much from that, this much from that, and yeah, fair enough. If someone can do that, then I'll look at it. But I just don't believe those figures.
No, I'm sorry, it don't make sense. He got guaranteed like 4 million for Fury, and maybe best case scenario, maybe that got doubled. Maybe best case scenario, you got 8 million for Fury. Maybe
7 or 8, I heard.
Yeah, 7 or 8. Maybe best case scenario. So how the hell is he picking up 10 million for a TV fight? It is hard.
Unless Showtime overpaid him.
I'm saying it's highly improbable. Over to you.
Yeah, sorry. Unless Showtime overpaid him to keep him sweet.
Yes, unless Showtime overpaid him to keep him sweet. But how often can they pay a man more than he's making? How often can they do that? He's fighting Ortiz now. If that goes to pay-per-view, that's going to be even less than the Fury pay-per-view. 320,000 is my expectation. It's going to be even less than that.
Well, I'm just wondering, how much did Ortiz accept for the rematch?
Well, it's funny enough, a friend of mine was in the barbershop today. There was a raging. He called me up. He's actually one of my training partners, and he called me up. He says, "Yo, there's a raging row going on in the barbershop about Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, and the Luis Ortiz offer." And so he put me on speakerphone. I think he'd already introduced me as the guy who was on the Boxing Voice, and this guy who, and apparently some of those guys tune into my show, Boxing Talk with Raphie, because they're avid boxing fans. So put me on speakerphone, passed me to one guy and says, "Yo, I'm trying to explain to the barber, it's a Jamaican barber. I'm trying to explain to everybody in there was Jamaican. So I'm trying to explain to the barber that Luis Ortiz turned down 7 million to fight Joshua." And he passed it over to me. I said, "Yeah, he turned down 7 million to fight Joshua." And then, the barber says, "How do you know?" And I said, "Well, I got it from several sources." He said, "Sources?" I said, "Yeah, sources." "Several sources?" I said, "Yeah, several sources." So he goes, "Well, so you use sources?" I said, "Yeah, I use sources." He said, "Like the police?" And I said, well, yeah, like the police, but my investigation is more thorough. It's more like Scotland Yard than your average local than your local bobby. You know what I'm saying? Oh, so okay. So, and then we went into it, must have been for a good 20 minutes. And he said, "So Eddie Hearn pays Joshua?" I said, "No, Joshua pays Eddie Hearn." He said, "Joshua pays Eddie Hearn?" I said, "Yeah, Eddie Hearn works for Joshua." I said, "What? So you're telling me Anthony Joshua has got more money than Eddie Hearn?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Who writes the checks?" I said, "Joshua writes the check for Eddie Hearn. Al Haymon writes the check for Wilder." So Eddie Hearn works for Joshua and Wilder works for Al Haymon. There's a big difference. Joshua tells Eddie Hearn what he wants to do. Al Haymon tells Wilder what he wants him to do. Big difference. So what I'm saying is that, I can't even remember how I got on that tangent, but anyway, I'm saying that a lot of people are talking about this topic. A lot of people are engrossed in this topic. So we're talking about the money. Yeah, that's right, we're talking about the money. Oh yeah, Ortiz, you asked me how much is Ortiz? Well, Ortiz reputedly got $500,000 to fight Wilder the first time around. $500,000. Okay, now let's say they're always talking about back-end money at PBC. Let's say he got double. So let's say he got 1 million. Right, now, let's say that money, the $500,000 that he got last time, let's say that, let's treble that. Let's treble the $500,000, his base figure, to 1.5 million, his base figure. That's going to be the reported figure. And let's double that to 3 million. That's still 4 million short of the 7 million he was going to be getting to fight Joshua. Now, the next logical question is, why would he accept less money to fight Wilder than he would have got to fight Joshua? Well, it's part of the AB. Well, to me, my hypothesis is, and this is what I said to the barber, so it's a good thing I brought him up. This is what I said to the barber. I believe that the Al Haymon plan, because his fighters seem to be happy over there. I believe the Al Haymon plan is that, listen, you get less money up front. I believe the source is Raphael Reese, says Raphael. You get less money. I believe the Al Haymon plan, what the Al Haymon tells these guys, because they seem happy for the most part, is that, listen, you get less money over here, but you also get less risks and a longer career. And that's a convincing argument.
Longevity.
You get less money per fight, but you take less risks and you have a longer career. So in the long run, you make more money.
Mm-hmm.
That's a convincing argument.
It is, especially if you're looking at it from a commodity point of view.
Yeah, of course. Carry on. Expand.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a commodity that can be bought or sold in the marketplace, well, maybe not sold, but you can invest into and get a return from. It's definitely a commodity in some sort of thinking. So if you have an investment in someone from a company point of view, if they can sustain what they're doing for a long period of time, they'll last longer than someone that's going to shine bright for maybe 2-3 years and then burn out.
One,
and potentially make the same or if not more money. But the thing is, what these guys are maybe overlooking is, do they really want to be fighting for that long in their career and only make small increments every time?
Yeah.
Where's the enticement of having a big fight under PBC?
Well, you see, if Joshua, it's a good question. From looking at it from Ortiz's point of view, had he fought Joshua and most likely got blitzed out, then the argument, the Al Haymon argument, one could surmise is that, you'll be dropping down in your income level. Your income level will drop down. You'll be on $500,000 again. Instead of the 3 million we pay you, you'll be on $500,000 at most. Maybe a couple 100,000. It's a convincing argument. So even though a part of Ruiz, his common sense part, would have said, well, I want the 7 million. 5 million was guaranteed to him, remember. I was listening back to an old video because I had to send some links to my friend to play it in the barbershop on speaker. I had to send an old video I made. And in that video, it reminded me that Luis Ortiz's personal guarantee of that 7 million, 5 million was going to him personally. His split of that 7 million was a personal 5 million. That was to him. The rest was going to his promoters, etc., and management. But he was going to get 5 million personally in his personal account. That was for him. So there must have been a part of him saying, damn, I should take it. But then you look at the protection plan, the PBC protection plan. Do you want to step outside of the scope of the protection plan? Moderators in the chat, when was the last time you asked people to hit the like button? It's just friendly reminder. Over to you,
My
Tom.
only problem with that, Raph, is Ruiz is in the twilight of his career.
Yes.
So he's not going to get any better.
No, he's not.
So for him not to get the big money fights now is not really working to his advantage, in my opinion.
I agree. I told you, damn. See, something cracks on the table, it reverbs. I agree, but you're working with the guy who has protected you for years and guided you and steered you. Are you going to go outside? Well, you can't, contractually, you can't go outside of his protection plan. You were tied in.
Yeah, but if he'd accepted that 7 million offer, would he have had to have gone outside his contract?
Could he have accepted the 7 mil?
Yes, that's a better question, yeah.
Could he have accepted the 7 mil? And I suggest to you that if he could have, it would have been a very strong temptation to do so. But I put it to you that there is an alleged contract. I haven't read all the way through it on YouTube, which is allegedly an Al Haymon contract, where he says that where it reads that the advisor is really, when you read it properly, it's like the advisor is not really, is more of an orderer than an advisor. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not really the advisor, as it says, is more of a authority figure. So it's not really giving you advice. He's giving you advice. Advice is somebody giving you an opinion on the course that you should take. Mm-hmm. Whereas in this contract, it suggests that the advisor is actually your guide. You should follow the advice of the advisor. You will follow the advice of the advisor. So the advisor is actually an orderer, if you see what I'm saying to you.
Mm-hmm. See, I'm curious to know, it's not the advisor part that I have an issue with. It's what options are made available first. Because you can always advise on the options that you have, but who determines the options?
Who determines the options that you get advice on? Well, there you go.
Exactly.
So what's on the menu? What is on the menu? It seems like these guys, basically, they're detached from that element. They are detached from that element. There is a missing link. So Eddie Hearn can't go direct to. Eddie Hearn has to go through Ortiz's advisors. His advisors, or promoter and management. His promoter and management report, I would imagine, report to Al Haymon first. Al Haymon first, and then the fighter. So there is a barrier between the promoter, the management, and the fighter, and the PBC cases. All of that stuff goes from the promoter and manager to Al Haymon, and then back to the fighter. They let him know what they have decided. So it appears. I don't think, even to this day, I don't think that Ortiz has spoken on the Joshua offer personally. Other people have spoken about it on his behalf, but he hasn't spoken about it himself.
Yeah, that seems a bit suspicious to me, because I'd be pissed off if my management team dropped the ball on 7 million, not 5 million, 7 million.
Yeah, but
I'd be pissed off.
But did they drop the ball, or is it just business as usual?
Oh, I think it was just a cover story, personally.
Yeah, it's a cover story.
The whole thing. It's just a game of chess. What we see is just the tail of the lion. We don't actually get to see the lion.
Exactamundo. To me, it's just business as usual. They were just doing business as usual. Look at the amount of times Ortiz has said we've never had an offer from Dillian Whyte. I don't believe that they've never received an offer from Eddie Hearn to fight Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte has said we sent them a $2 million offer. Ortiz side comes back and says, no, you never. But they're known and proven liars when it comes to negotiations. They are known and proven liars.
Here's my thing on this whole he said, she said thing. Would it be a breach of confidentiality to actually show the emails, even if they were to black out certain pieces of information, like on the contract, to show that they actually sent such documentation?
I don't know. I would love to see. They've said it, but we've never seen any documentation, to the best of my knowledge. I would love to see a little bit of documentation. I would love to see a little bit of documentation to prove the Dillian Whyte side that they have actually sent at least one offer. At least one offer. Did they send a contract though? Because if you're saying you'd like to see a contract, I don't know if they've said they've sent a contract, but they have sent offers. Or could we see parts of an email? Or does that get messy? That could get messy. Maybe that's why. But I'm more inclined to believe Dillian Whyte's side than I am to believe Luis Ortiz's side.
Yeah, Because I mean, Ortiz's side, their credibility is basically
Shot.
they've lost their credibility. Yeah.
Absolutely shot. Their credibility is shot. So I am less inclined to believe they're proven liars. Let's call it like it is. They are proven liars. And people, please hit that like button if you're enjoying the show. If you're not enjoying the show, no problem. But if you are enjoying the show and you have not yet hit the like button, then please kindly do so. It would be appreciated. Anyway, so Joshua fought a relative cherry instead of Ruiz. He's got through. Wilder has signed to fight him, to fight Joshua. He's already fought Breezel. He's got his 20 mil, and now he progresses onwards to fight Joshua late 2019. Late 2019, he fights Joshua. So that's how it would have played out had Joshua not got messed up by what I call the Madison Square Gardens massacre. The Madison Square Gardens massacre. So we don't know what would have happened in that fight. That's speculation. But now we get to the situation with Tyson Fury and his announcement that it's a 2-fight deal. It's going to be a 2-fight. He's signed a 2-fight deal with Wilder. Tyson Fury says, check the videos, check my videos. For those who don't know, he's signed a 2-fight deal to fight Wilder. The first fight taking place in February, the latter part of February 2020. Now, so what we're looking at now is the fact that Fury is essentially saying that they have frozen out Dillian Whyte. I'm going to be missing for 30 seconds. Over to you, Tommy.
Did actually, if I remember right, did Fury turn around and blatantly say that directly, that he's frozen out Whyte? Has he done that? Because if he has, it's a bitch move.
He didn't use. Fury did not use the word, or excuse the sound of the mic stand being swizzled. Fury did not use the word frozen out, but what he said was to the same effect. Fury said that he said, ha, you've been mandatory for 600 days, but I've just signed to fight Wilder on a 2-fight deal. So we're going to have the rematch and then the trilogy. Ha. So, yeah, he said in different words that we have frozen out Dillian Whyte.
No, that's pathetic. If anything, he shouldn't have even had Dillian Whyte's name in his mouth. Because he's basically he's doing what Nelson does in The Simpsons.
Nelson, who's I can't remember that word. Yeah, that's it.
It's childish. Come on, you shouldn't have any ill will to another opponent who missed out.
Well, the thing is this. Fury was number 7 ranked when Dillian Whyte was number 1 ranked in the WBC. So when he fought Deontay Wilder, when Fury fought Deontay Wilder, that was a leapfrog. Mm-hmm. So one leapfrog, fine. He's the so-called lineal champion. So it was advertised as champion v champion. Okay, fair enough. So you're number 7 ranked. You've leapfrogged Dillian Whyte because you are the so-called lineal champ, even though that's disputed for reasons we've gone over. Fine. You've got 1 shot. Fine. Take your shot. It was announced as a draw. The punch stats are closer than people appear to think. I've got a guy, an Australian guy, who's literally counting the punches, and he's sending me videos. I haven't checked them recently, but he sent me round one. Most people think Fury won round one. I actually counted the punches, and Deontay Wilder landed more.
Ooh.
Yes, Deontay Wilder landed more. At the end,
he's not the first guy to make a video like that, though.
Yeah, at the end of the first round, because I thought that Fury won the first round, but at the end of the first round, Fury did a flurry. And it swayed the thinking certainly swayed my thinking. But when I actually sat down, because this guy's sending me round by round, probably a bunch of rounds I haven't seen yet. I haven't checked them. He said he sent me some more, but he's sending me one round at a time. I've only checked the first one yet, and Deontay Wilder outlanded Fury in the first round when I thought that Fury won the first round because of his flurry at the end. So people say it's disputed, and it is disputed, but this guy is convinced that Wilder outlanded Fury. Now, if Wilder outlands Fury and also knocks him down twice, then that's a clear win for Deontay Wilder. I can't say that he's outlanded him. But this guy, this Australian fella, this Australian content creator is telling me and sending me one round at a time that Wilder outlanded Fury and dropped him twice. If that is the case, when I've had the time to go through each round by round, if that is the case, then it is a less disputed win than people generally tend to think. So, I mean, I'll pass them on to you at some point. I'm going to do them first. But he's very clever about it. He's sending me one video at a time, every couple of days. And so far, I've only checked the first one, but he's convinced that Wilder outlanded Fury. And we know for sure that he dropped him twice. So Fury had the courtesy extended to him to leapfrog Dillian Whyte. And now, fine, that was a one-time thing. So Dillian Whyte arguably should then have got the second crack. Fury had his crack. Dillian Whyte being champ, being number one mandatory, number one contender for 500 days at that time or whatever, now 600 days, he is more than deserving of the next crack at Wilder. And if Wilder loses, fair enough. Whoever wins gets Tyson Fury. That should have been the natural order of things, the most decent option. Over to you, Tommy.
I'm not going to mention any names in any uploaders, but I would say to you, compare that video to the video that I sent you, and I've just sent you a screenshot of how they scored that fight in terms of punches landed. So it'd be interesting to compare two different sources on that.
Let me take a quick look at this. Okay, let me take a quick look. Round one, it says round one, Deontay Wilder 3, Tyson Fury 3. Round 2, 3, Deontay Wilder 3, Tyson Fury 4. That's round 2. Round 3, Deontay Wilder 2, Tyson Fury 7. I'm assuming he means well, okay. So hold on. Is he saying that in round 1, Deontay Wilder landed? Is each number representative of the punch landed?
Yes.
Okay. So in round 3, it's 2 punches for Wilder, 7 for Fury. Round 4, 2 punches landed for Deontay Wilder, 6 landed for Fury. Round 5, 2 for Wilder, 10 for Fury. Around 6-3 for Wilder, 8 for Fury. These numbers, to me, they're wildly out. I know that this guy is a professional or something, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'll do my own punch count. It's interesting, very interesting. I'll do my own punch count, but from round 1 alone, this guy reckons Deontay Wilder only landed 3 punches, and Fury only landed 3 punches.
No, it's clean, effective punches.
Yeah,
That's the key.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything at this stage, but me having assessed round 1, I had the clean punches higher than that. But I appreciate the guy is probably a professional or something of that nature. But I think we're probably going to have to do an episode on the punches landed. That will be another episode. But I have the punches landing higher than that. But I understand he's talking about clean punches. Yeah, that's cool. It's not coming up the same way with the guy who's contacted me from Australia. It's coming out as higher stats, higher punches landed. But that's very interesting nonetheless. So
can I just make one point on that?
Yeah.
There is the potential to count punches that land with the inside of the hand, which are not scoring blows.
Right. Okay. I hear that. Give me 10 seconds. Okay, I'm back. So, how many people we got? How many people? All right, folks, if you're new in the chat and you are enjoying the show and you haven't already hit that like button, would you please kindly do so? Only if you're enjoying the show, though. If you're not enjoying the show, then don't do that. But if you're enjoying the show and you have not already hit that like button, then would you please kindly do so? Okay, so where are we now? So we're at, so we're talking about Dillian Whyte, the Dillian Whyte Tyson Fury situation, whereas Tyson Fury is saying he has signed a 2-fight deal with Deontay Wilder. Which effectively will mean that Dillian Whyte is going to get frozen out. Deontay Wilder is fighting Ortiz late this year. Where is it? September, October. Yeah, September, October of this year. He's then fighting Tyson Fury in February of 2020. That's February of 2020. And then the question becomes, well, does Dillian Whyte then get a shot after the rematch? Or does Tyson Fury get the 3rd fight 6 months later? So the first potentially available slot, currently it appears for Dillian Whyte to get a crack at Wilder, since Wilder is fighting Ortiz at the end of this year, 2019. Fury in the rematch at the beginning of 2020. Then the first potential available slot would be late the winter of 2020. Over to you, Tommy.
Is Dillian Whyte still ranked within the WBO, or has he lost his position?
He's gone down in the rank. They've moved him down in the rankings in the WBO. They have moved him down in the rankings. They have moved Usyk. I think they've moved number 1. But they have moved him down to number 2. They've moved him down a few spots. Why would he have dropped a few spots? It doesn't make any logical sense. But they have. It's the shenanigans.
The raw deal, isn't he?
It's the shenanigans of the organizing bodies. So it appears as it stands that should Dillian Whyte beat Rivas at the O2 in June or July the 22nd, I believe, or the 20th, July 20th at the O2 Arena, London. Should Dillian Whyte beat Usyk, Oscar Rivas. Should Dillian Whyte beat Oscar Rivas, then he becomes, it looks like he becomes mandatory. He's already the number one. Looks like he becomes mandatory. So he's number one for 600 days, plus mandatory. So then theoretically, he will get a shot potentially in 2020. So, and the first available slot, potentially available slot, would be in the winter of 2020. Over to you, Tom.
Okay, so let's say hypothetically, Whyte comes through that fight. When's that fight? In a couple of weeks?
Yeah.
Right. So if he becomes a mandatory, as whoever the champ is, let's just take out Wilder out of the equation for a second.
Yeah.
Whoever the champ is, they have to defend by what, 12 months? What's the limit on the
well, it should be 12 months, but it's Deontay Wilder, so it's every 2 years.
To be honest, if I was Whyte, I'd go after Manuel Char. I know it's a shitty belt, but at least he might be able to do it quicker.
What belt is Manuel Char got?
He's got the WBA Super, I think. Is it the Super?
Okay. So he's the WBA route.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. That's always a possibility and an option that he's got to keep open. But really and truly, the gangrene belt now, I think he's gonna have to spread his wrists, like we said before. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. So he's gonna have to spread his wrists. He's gonna have to. He was number one in the WBO. They've dropped him down. So no matter which direction you go in, you can always get mucked about. But yes, I do agree in risk spreading. So he has to spread his risk. I don't know if he's a belt holder in the WBA, whether that drops him out of the WBC rankings, however. So there's some technicalities there that would have to be looked into.
Yeah, but at least if he picks up that shitty WBA strap, he has more bargaining power when it comes to fighting the other champions.
If he doesn't drop him out of the WBC, though. If you're a belt,
but if he becomes the WBA champ, whatever version you want to call it, he's still a champ, still a recognized champ. And if he fights another champion, well, then that's a unification. It doesn't really matter if he's ranked or not, does it?
Well, in the WBC, my contention is that because he's been trying with the WBC for so long, he's right. Yeah, you shouldn't turn back at the gate. You shouldn't turn back at the gate. He's at the gate now. He's at the gate. So then to try and raise up in another organization, when he's at the gate, he's knocking at the door. He's knocking at the door and been knocking at the door for 600 days. I think he's got to stick with the WBC. Pick up whatever he can pick up elsewhere for sure. But he's right at the gate now. The WBC would love nothing better than for him to turn around and do something where they can say, oh, well, you see, Dillian Whyte went and he fought for this other belt, which excludes him. If you look at the Section C, 53A of our legislation, you will see that eliminates him from the WBC ranking. He cannot be ranking. He was there. We wanted him to fight Deontay Wilder, but he excluded himself from the runnings. You know, you guys got to be careful. He's got to be careful with these politics. These politics. He's got to be careful. He's got to be very, very careful.
Yeah, but he's standing at the gate and no one's letting him in. I honestly think he'd be better off going for Manuel Char.
Well, he may be. He may be WBA, but I say I hear your point of view, and it's good to have difference of opinion. We have a difference of opinion on this matter. I believe he has to stay where he is with the WBC. He's there at the gate. Nobody's knocking it. Nobody's opening the door. He's knocking. Nobody's opening the door. But sometimes you just got to you got to go around the back and kick the back door in. Sometimes you just have to kick the door in. You know, possession is 9/10 of the law. He's there. He's there. He's on the property. He's been on the property he's got squatters' rights. He's got squatters' rights now. Vincent Grant.
Yeah, but realistically, is Eddie fighting for him?
Vincent Grant is in the building. He's asking me, is the dub by Augustus Pablo? Well, it's Vincent. Good to have you, but the dub is titled Mystery Dub.
Close.
Mystery Dub.
You must have been using Shazam.
It's Mystery Dub. Oh my God! Don't give him ideas. Don't give him ideas. Erase that. Strike that from the record books. Strike that from the record books. Yeah, like you were saying, Tommy.
From the point of view as a promoter, I mean, if I'm starting to question whether or not Eddie Hearn wants Dillian Whyte to be a champion, because he's tried with 2 belts, but he hasn't. I know I keep on banging about manual charge. Not manual charge, the fact that he's older. If they were to offer him a big enough carrot the way they did to Charles Martin, I'm sure he'd take that fight.
Well,
is Dillian Whyte a draw to risk a big payday on charge just to the belt? That's really the question.
Yeah, well, in the same way that we agreed that it's better to have 2 champions than 1 for Al Haymon,
yeah,
I would say it's better for Eddie Hearn. Would consider it better for him to have 2 champions rather than 1 also.
Good point. Yeah.
You want your stable packed with champions. Champions. So I would think that, yes, absolutely. I do believe that Eddie Hearn wants another heavyweight. Look at the situation now. Of course he wants another heavyweight champion. Look at the situation now. He doesn't have one.
Who's Manuel Charles promoter? Let me have a look.
That I do not know. Who is Manuel Charles promoter?
Probably Sunderland or something like that.
Have I got BoxRec here? I do have BoxRec, but it's a multitasking thing. Don't know if I want to do that. So, yes.
Oh, no, here I've got it here.
Okay.
Let me just click into the link.
Yeah.
Manuel Charles signs new promotional deal. Blah 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 blah. Epic Sports and Entertainment has become his promoter, and that was in March of this year.
Oh, those
I've never.
Those, yeah, you've never heard of them. I've heard of them. They were the people who were going to put on the Pulev. They were the people who outbid Eddie Hearn for the Pulev Dillian Whyte fight. And then what happened? They didn't come up with the funds. They didn't come up with the funds. Yeah, so that had to go for another bidding round.
Right.
So they are, I don't know if they're the most reputable company. I'm not sure they are the most reputable company. So we have the Tyson Fury situation where between him and Wilder, they have effectively frozen out. It appears they have frozen out Dillian, the body snatcher, Whyte. TommyTemper.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, as you say, his best option is to stick where he's at and play the waiting game. But my only problem with that is Whyte's pretty much at his peak. He's wasting his best years waiting on the sidelines, having hard fights that don't really forward him anymore towards the title. That's how it appears.
Well, it has forwarded him because because he's number one 600 days, so he can't get higher than number one. Number one for 600 days. The question is, how long can they deny him? And let's not get it twisted. He's not fighting for peanuts. So he has been careful and prudent to make sure that the fights that he takes are money-making fights. So he's probably after Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, he might be the third best paid heavyweight at the moment. Are you okay, Tommy?
Oh shit! Sorry, I didn't realize that I was on mute. Your music stopped, by the way.
Yeah, no, it stops and starts. Atmospheric.
Okay. Best British heavyweight or best heavyweight in the world in terms of payday and what he's been paid?
In terms of his paydays, Joshua is the highest paid heavyweight.
Yep.
Secondly, we could surmise it's Deontay Wilder.
Mm-hmm.
And then who would be in third place?
Povetkin. He's been around longer.
He's been around longer. I would surmise that Dillian Whyte is getting bigger fights, pay-per-view fights, whereas Povetkin perhaps is not.
Not at this stage in his career, I wouldn't imagine. He probably got a big payday for Joshua, but
got a big payday for Joshua. But fight by fight, I would say fight by fight, Dillian Whyte is probably the best paid heavyweight. The third. Oh no, sorry. Of course, we're forgetting Tyson Fury. So Tyson Fury. But yeah, so after Tyson Fury, then I would say probably Dillian Whyte is the fourth best paid heavyweight currently.
No, it's Ortiz.
Yeah, we got number one Anthony Joshua, number two Deontay Wilder, number three possibly Tyson Fury, and number four I would say would be Dillian Whyte. He's been getting consistent pay-per-views over the last couple of years, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so he's not King Slender in the building. Says Whyte is not at his peak yet. He has a few more fights to get there. Yeah, I think he's got a few more fights before he reaches his peak. So he's getting paid well in the meantime with the pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
If we have a look at his box rec, I do have him up on box rec. So Oscar Rivas, pay-per-view. Derek Chisora, pay-per-view. Joseph Parker, pay-per-view. Lucas Brown, pay-per-view. So he's had 1, 2, 3, 4 pay-per-views in a row. I don't think Hellenius was a pay-per-view. Was the first Derek Chisora fight? I think the first Derek Chisora fight was a pay-per-view also, possibly.
Could have been. I can't remember.
I can't remember. So that's Derek Chisora 1, Lucas Brown 2. Lucas Brown, that's the second pay-per-view. Joseph Parker, third pay-per-view. Derek Chisora 2, fourth pay-per-view. And Oscar Rivas will be a pay-per-view also. That's 5 pay-per-views in a row. 5 pay-per-views in a row. He might have earned over that period more than Tyson Fury.
No, it's possible because how much did Fury make fighting 2 bums?
Yeah, because Fury's last 5. What's this now? Tom Schwartz 1, Deontay Wilder 2, Francesco Pianetta 3, Cephas Fury 4.
They weren't pay-per-views, were they?
Vladimir Klitschko 5. No, I'm saying they're his last 5 fights.
Oh,
after his last 5 fights, he must have got a bit of a wedge from Klitschko. But Klitschko was notoriously stingy in payments.
I have a feeling that fight was close to 50-50 or 60-40, something like that. No. I think Fury got $5 million for that fight.
Did he get 5 million for that fight? That's good from.
I think he did 5 million. Is the figure I got in my head.
That's good from Klitschko because he's notoriously stingy when it comes to payments. So if he got 5 million for that, I mean, how much would he have got for Sefa Fury and Francesco Pianetta? He'd be lucky. He'd be lucky to pick up $1 million each from those, would he not?
Yeah, I'm thinking he'd be lucky to get that.
He'd be lucky to get $1 million from each from those. But let's say he did. Let's say he did though. That's 5 from Klitschko, which I think that's a high figure. I'd imagine it's more around the 3 million mark, but it could be 5. Let's say 4. Let's say it's $1 million. Say it's $1 million for Sefa Fury and Francesco Pianetta each. I don't think it was, but let's just say that. That's 4 from Klitschko, another 2 from Safiri and Pianetta. That's 4, that's 5, that's 6. Deontay Wilder, we say that's a low figure of 5, let's say. That's 6 plus 5, that's 11 million. Tom Schwartz, I think he'd have been lucky to pick up a couple million for that one. I don't believe he's on 10 million or 20 million a fight over there. I think he'd be lucky to pick up 2 mil for that one. So what's that? 4, 5, 6. Deontay Wilder, 5. That's 11. 2 million, 11, 12, 13. That's 13 million over his last fight. Conservative estimate, in my opinion. 13 million over his last 5 fights. We'll switch over to Dillian Whyte. These are my rough estimations, speculations. 13 mil for Fury over his last 5 fights. Over 2. I'm not even sharing the damn screen. I should be sharing the screen. Where are we? Box rec, share. So over to Dillian Whyte. There's Dillian Whyte box rec. Let's have a look. Right, let's go back to where's Derek Chisora if that was a pay-per-view. Let's go low estimates of 2 million for Derek Chisora 1. I mean, Derek Chisora was saying to Dillian Whyte, I'll give you 5 million to fight me. I'll give you 5 million and I take the rest. I'll give you 5 and I take the rest. That was for the second fight. So the first fight, let's say 2 million for Derek Chisora 1. Lucas Brown, let's say conservative estimate again. Let's say 2 million. Let's say 2 million. Joseph Parker, that must have been a big money fight. Let's say 3 million. Conservative estimates. Derek Chisora 2. Now, if Derek Chisora was saying, I'll give you 5 million, then presumably there must have been 5 million in it. But let's go conservative. Let's say 3. Let's say 3. And then Oscar Rivas. Let's go very conservative and say 2. Let's say 2.5. So let's count that up. Derek Chisora 1, 2 million. Lucas Brown. Let's say 2 million. Very conservative. That's 4. Joseph Parker. Let's say 3. That's 5 million. Derek Chisora 2. Let's say 4 million. That's 5 plus 4. That's 9 million. Oscar Rivas. Let's say 2. That's 9. That's 11 million. Wow. Randomly came out exactly the same as Fury. Randomly came out exactly the same by my estimation. 11 million apiece. No, I think I said Fury got 13. Okay, in between 11 and Fury, by my estimation, got 13 million for his last 5 fights. And have I stopped sharing? I think I've stopped sharing.
Yeah, but you know the difference between the two?
What's that?
Is Fury's fought for a world title.
Fury fought for a yes he did. So what do you mean? What's the ramifications of that?
Well, in generally speaking, if you fight for a world title, you should get well paid.
Yes, absolutely. Well, he's fought for a world title twice.
Oh Christ, yeah, fuck yeah, I forgot about that. Sorry, my language, but yeah.
World title twice. So yeah, it's logical that he would have got more. But according to my estimation, it's not that much more than Dillian Whyte. So that's why I have Dillian Whyte in fourth in the earnings rankings in the last few years. Although Povetkin got a big wedge, but I'm talking about fight per fight consistently. Let's drop him down to 5 then. Let's drop him down to 5th. let's say Povetkin got that big wedge, so he's happy. But yeah, but fight by fight, I think Dillian Whyte is probably in 4th place, 4th or 5th. Let's say 4th or 5th place. So that was in response to your question about should he forget about the WBC? And my response is, well, he didn't take the Pulev fight, for example, where he'd have got 25%. He's a bigger draw, but he'd have had to take 25%. He didn't take that. He made sure that he got paid. Got paid. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think he fought Parker instead, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He fought Parker instead of taking 25% against Pulev.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I've got a question for you. What does Joshua and Ruiz have in common in terms of the risks that they took?
What do they have? Joshua and Ruiz. Well, what risk did Ruiz take?
Well, he took the challenge to fight the unified champion.
Yeah.
Right? For low money. And on the same sort of logic, Joshua did the similar thing with what's his name? The IBF champ at the time. Charles Martin. He overpaid him, and took a pay cut, to risk going for the glory of the belts.
Yes,
and that's one thing that Fury and Wilder, in my opinion, don't want to do. They want to get paid for their risk.
Fury and Wilder want to get paid, but you said what's the difference? Oh yeah, so
no, they have it. Yeah.
I hear you. They don't want to take what risk though? What risk are they not taking?
No. What I'm saying is they won't take the risk without getting well paid.
They won't take the risk. What risk could they take?
Well, for instance, Wilder didn't take the risk of unifying.
Oh yeah.
And obviously Fury. Well, I don't even know what to say about Fury, but he just was an idiot.
How?
Well, because he could have fought Joshua.
Yeah.
But he ended up going
a risk. Well, it wouldn't have been a financial risk if he got well paid.
Yeah, but he even was happy to take a flat fee, if you remember.
Oh yeah. Well.
So was that even genuine? Him asking about a flat fee?
The reason I think that Fury didn't want to fight Joshua is because, in my opinion, he thought he'd get beat.
Or maybe he thought he'd get robbed.
Well, no, because, yeah, that's a possibility. But I mean, he's got accountants. All the books have to be presented. Mm-hmm. If somebody says, "I'll give you 40%," then the books have to be presented to show that you're getting 40%. If it's contractually stated that you are getting 40% of revenue, then you will have to have the books to support the fact that you're getting 40% of revenue. So I don't think, I see what you're saying, but I think that Fury just didn't want to fight Joshua. In my mind, it's clear that Fury doesn't want to fight Joshua. Whatever the reasons are, that's a different matter. Me, personally, I think that even though Fury is the better boxer, Joshua has knockout ability.
Of course he does, yeah.
So therefore, Fury could get knocked out by Joshua, or Joshua can get outboxed by Fury.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm of the opinion, I've been of the opinion for a long time with the negotiations that, remember, with Eddie Hearn, I keep on looking to see if we lose people, but we're not losing people. Okay, folks, if you are watching the stream, this is Raphael. This is Live Boxing Talk with Raphael. A guest tonight is TommyTemper. If you're watching the stream and you're enjoying the stream and you have not already smashed the like button, if you would consider doing so, only if you're enjoying the stream, that would be appreciated. Okay, so yeah, I've been of the opinion for a long time, Fury just don't want Joshua. He just don't want it. He just don't want it. I'm not saying I don't know if it's the money or whatever, but he just don't want it. He does not want Joshua. And both Fury and Wilder have seemed to be in celebration mode after Joshua has lost. But if you wanted the fight, you wouldn't be in celebration mode.
No, of course not. It's almost as if their biggest threat has been eliminated.
They feel happy.
Yeah.
They feel happy. But if you
Relieved,
wanted to fight me for big money and then I lost, you would be pissed.
Yeah, it makes sense that you'd be pissed because that's your biggest payday.
Your payday's done.
Yeah.
If I wanted to fight you, if you were the champ and I wanted to fight you and you represented a big payday to me and you lost, I might just be driving the Ferrari into the bridge.
What, with the kids in the back?
No, the kids were at home. The kids were at home.
No, you don't get the reference I'm talking about.
Oh no, but I'm talking about, you don't get the reference I'm talking about Tyson Fury talking about when he said he wanted to drive his Ferrari in the bridge.
Yeah, but he had the kids in the back at the time.
No, he didn't, did he?
I'm sure he said he had the kids in the back.
In the version I listened to, the kids.
All right, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, the kids weren't in the back. No. The kids were at home. He said he stopped it. He stopped it, and he thought about his kids, and then he changed his mind. So now the kids went. Well, you may have heard the version where he said the kids. And I'm not saying he never said the kids were in the back. One version. In the version I heard, the kids were at home. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not disputing that. Another point, he said the kids were in the back. I'm not disputing that. He may have done. Yeah. So it seems clear to me, blatantly clear to me, that neither Wilder or Fury wanted Joshua, because Fury is a better boxer than Joshua, more skilled. There is no two ways. I don't think there's many people who disagree with that. But Joshua can knock Fury out. Fury can outbox Joshua. That's just the scenario with them two. When it comes to Joshua versus Wilder, that would end in a certain knockout. One of them would knock the other one out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very much so. That's a given.
That's a given.
It's not in the distance.
I don't see any other possible scenario. With Fury versus Joshua, we don't know.
I reckon, though, there's a strong possibility that Fury could TKO Joshua late from fatigue.
TKO late through fatigue. Yeah, I guess, well, if his gas tank is in question, then, you have to put that in as a shout. I wouldn't be betting on that, but it has to be acknowledged as a possibility. So what you were saying is that Joshua, if he doesn't knock Fury out, he could gas.
Yeah.
Yes. I would say that is a possibility. Although, yeah, it's a possibility. So the possibilities of a Fury fight is A, Fury outboxes Joshua. B, Joshua knocks out Fury. Or C, Joshua fatigues. If he comes in too heavy, he fatigues. That's C. D, Joshua comes in light and doesn't fatigue. That's A, B, C, and D.
What's he looking now? Is he looking at about 240, 245 in training?
He's looking a bit lighter, but I wouldn't make any speculation because it's pictures, it's videos. We don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't swear. I wouldn't swear. I wouldn't take an oath to it that he is lighter. I will say he looks lighter. Ped says he had the kids in the car. No, question mark. Question mark. Because that's not suicide. That's killing your whole family. So that I'm saying that's Ped doing 200 in a Ferrari wearing his Rocky outfit.
With the song Living in America going on.
Toby Bartlett is proven worthy of his sword that he's been anointed with. Toby Bartlett says this: how many seats in a Ferrari?
Well, it depends on the Ferrari.
Yeah. Normally two. And the boot's in the front, so that's not an option either. If you get the joke there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Toby Bartlett says use Raphie sauce. Oh man, the mods are on fire. The whole monitors are on fire. Where are we? Yeah, so I think what we've done, we've gone from 9 till 23:51. Bloody hell, that's what 9, that's 11, that's 3 hours almost, coming up to 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming up to 3 hours. I think it was supposed to be a 1.5 hour show. And then overtime takes up to 2. We've done, what is it? 3, that's 3. We've done 2 hours and 51 minutes. Minus the 5, that's 2051, that's 46, 2046 minutes thus far. And I think with that, have we rounded it up? Have we rounded it up? So I think we need to round it up. We need to round this baby up. So I think the thrust of this show has been Tyson Fury boasting that he and his partner in crime, Deontay Wilder, have successfully frozen Dillian Whyte out. I am not happy about that. My position is that Tyson Fury was allowed to leapfrog Dillian Whyte. Fair enough. He's the so-called alleged lineal champ. We have disputes on that over here. We don't believe him to be lineal. If you don't understand why, then we have live shows. Well, some of us don't believe him to be lineal, some do. We have live shows which cover that topic. Go back in the archives. I guess I should update my playlists to have all the lives in one playlist. At the moment, I think we've got about half of them, or maybe about a quarter now, because we're 31. This is Live Boxing Talk with Raphie 31. I think I've probably got about 1/3 of them. I've uploaded 1/3 of them into the playlist, but obviously if you want to find the ones that aren't in the playlist, then you merely go into videos and scroll down and you will find all of the live shows. So they're all available, they're all uploaded, and you and you can find all of the live shows. We did 2 live shows back to back discussing the lineal championship, Tyson Fury's claim to lineal. It was disputed. Some people think he is lineal, and some people like myself support the argument which says that he is not. He violated certain rules and eliminated himself from lineal. But okay, he got the shot, he got the jump over Dillian Whyte because he's considered by some to be lineal. Fair enough. So he got the first shot, but the second shot should have gone to Dillian Whyte, in my opinion. At that point, he would have been #1 ranked WBC fighter for 500 days or thereabouts, and he was deserving of the shot at Deontay Wilder's belt or crown, the gangrene belt. Now it's 600 days and counting, and Tyson Fury gets another shot, whereas Dillian Whyte is still waiting in the wings. And remember, Tyson Fury was a voluntary. That was a voluntary defense. And this is also another voluntary defense. So I think Dillian Whyte has been hard done by. I will continue the pressure on my end, keep up the pressure on my end, and I hope that other content creators, well, I know that other content creators will do likewise. This is unacceptable behavior. Dillian Whyte should have got his shot. That is my argument. That is my contention.
Raph, let me ask you a quick question.
Yes, please do.
Do you think that because of the way Dillian Whyte's being treated, that this should be a call for an overriding single body in boxing, even if they keep all the belts as they are, but they should all have to answer to one body?
I support the notion, the idea, the belief that there is a need for an overriding body, but I also know that these organizing, sanctioning bodies are a law unto themselves, and I don't see it happening. If there was a petition, I would sign it. If there was a movement, I would join it. But these are systematic, greedy bastards, and they will not want to loosen their grip in any way, shape, manner, or form, or have their autonomy or their right to lead their corrupt organizations they will not co-sign on anything that will infringe their right to continue their shady and corrupt acts and ways.
See, there's a part of me that wants Dana White to take over boxing only for the reason that he might consolidate all the belts. Well, not all the belts, but you know what I'm saying.
Best fights the best.
Yes. Because in theory, he could create his own belt and say, forget about the other four, or whatever you want to call the alphabet belts, and just fight for our belt and just have one belt. Obviously, it's a romantic notion of how it used to be, but something needs to happen.
Something definitely needs to happen.
It's coming up to 2 years for.
What did you just say?
Coming up to 2 years.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. It's totally unacceptable. But I remember back when I was a kid, back in the day, there was like, what did you have? The WBA, the WBC. Then the IBF came along. Then I got older, and the WBO. So even growing up as a teenager, when the WBA or wherever came out, yeah, it was just, I could see the writing was on the wall. The writing was on the wall even back then. You knew that it was just heading to a sewer. It was heading to the sewer with so many belts, so many factions. I mean, it was bad enough with three. WBA, WBC, then the IBF. WBC, WBA, WBC, then the IBF, then the WBO. Nah, it's just ridiculous. When the WBO came along, I thought, wow, we're heading for problems. We already have a problem. It's going to get a bigger problem. So, ultimately, my final words are, Dillian Whyte needs a shot. Tyson Fury, his original fight was a voluntary. Dillian Whyte should have been the one to get the next shot. It was Dillian Whyte's turn, but Tyson Fury leapfrogged him twice. He's still behind him in the rankings in the WBC, by the way.
Yeah, but the WBC, they kind of have a communist system when it comes to numbers, because if in the West, when it comes to queuing up for your goods, you have a linear line, right? So if you're first in the line to be served next, then you're first in the line. The WBC, they don't see it that way, because if you go to China, everybody tries to hustle to get served. So there's no system such. And that's basically what the WBC are doing. They're making mockery of the numeric system.
A total and absolute mockery of the numeric system. We need to get a maths teacher over there to give them some home tuition on mathematics. Teach them the meaning of the term or the number 1. Means you're next in line. Apparently, that doesn't work when it doesn't suit them. It's a clearly corrupt operation they are running over there. The WBC are running. It's clear, and it is entirely unacceptable. Tyson Fury should not be fighting Deontay Wilder next. The man who's been number 1 for 600 days should be fighting him next. I can understand the courtesy of allowing the so-called lineal champ to leapfrog originally. Fine, I understand that. But now it should be Dillian Whyte's turn. He has been number 1 for 600 days and counting. To allow Tyson Fury to get back in there again ahead of him is unacceptable. It's unfortunate. It's terrible. But that is what it appears to be. All I can do as a content creator is keep on reporting on these shady activities and hopefully keep our foot on their necks. How much effect will it have? We don't know. But if you squeeze hard enough for long enough, change may be effective and effected, and perhaps we can shame the WBC into doing the right thing by forums like this, by social media platforms, all of the social media platforms. I am confident we can shame them into giving the man is shot.
Agreed.
Okay, so this has been Live Boxing Talk with Raphie, episode 31. My, the show is growing up. It's growing up. It grows so fast. They grow so fast, Tommy. They grow so fast. On the Live
When
Boxing
did you start?
Sorry?
When was your first show?
My first show was, let me go into this. Let's do this live. Let's do this as a team. Let's do this as a team. Who says that? So the first show was, I'm scrolling down now as we speak. I've come to Live Lunchtime Boxing Talk with Raphie 4. That was a month ago. We keep scrolling down. We keep scrolling. What's that there? That's another month.
It's 10 weeks. 24th of April.
Well, 24th of April.
Your first live was the 24th of April.
The first live was 24th of April, May, June. Or May, June. That's 2.5 months. 24th of April, May, June would be 24th of, where are we now?
We're the 9th of July.
9th of July. So it's coming up, well, it's 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks. 11 weeks.
Feels like longer.
Sorry?
Feels like longer.
It feels like longer. It feels like we've been going for some time now. Feels like longer. Feels longer, but I think I'm getting in a groove. I actually started this show with not zero nerves. There's always an element of nerves, but normally when I start the show, originally when I started the show, I think my first show, it wasn't too bad. I can't remember. I just realized I wanted to do it, so I was just more excited to do it. I was more excited. It's silence. I was more excited to do it, so I think I didn't have time for much nerves. I was just excited. 24th of April, yeah, I see it there. I was more excited. And then after that, then each one, you get a little bit of nerves. Damn, I hope I do this right. Yeah, the technical aspects, this right, content, subject matter. So there's an element of nerves. There has been an element of nerves just before the start of each one. For this one, I was concerned because there was another fella who I saw advertising he was going to do his live at the same time as mine. I thought, oh no, I hope he doesn't siphon off my crew. And then I went shopping just prior to the start of the show. I had to pop out and get a few things down at my local Morrison's. And as I did that, I had a moment of clarity, or several moments of clarity. One was the previous night. What was that? Sunday night. I just skipped through a few lives. I looked through a few lives, just popped into this live. Not when they were live, but just had a few looks at a few replays. And I realized something. I had a moment of clarity. I realized something. None of the lives that I saw felt like this. Didn't have this vibe. Didn't have this flavor. And I realized every cook, every chef has their own special ingredients. They use their own special herbs and spices there. And the flavoring mainly comes from that individual chef's personality. And I realized, whoa, yeah. So each show is a reflection of the chef's. Each plate, each dish is a reflection of the chef's personality. And I realized that this show has its own individual flavor.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is if you get 3 artists, when I say artists, people who draw on paper, to draw the same thing from the same angle or perspective, they're going to look similar, but they're going to have their own unique style.
Yes. And that, I just did the triple affirmative. Unpremeditated. So yeah, so that's what I realized. It became very clear to me. Yo, every man has his own different style. Every man creates his own dish with its own unique flavor. And like Shola Ibofin confirms, Raph has his own unique home cooking. 100%. That's what I realized. It's the home cooking. I cook things my own style, my own flavor. And I realized that it doesn't matter if 100 guys decided to do their shows at the same time as my show. I've still got my own flavor. I've still got my own flavor, and you're not going to get that anywhere else. So the people who like that flavor will be here. It don't matter if every content creator decided to start their shizzle at the same time on the same day that I did my shizzle. People who like my home cooking are going to be coming to my restaurant.
Well, keep cooking, Raph.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's the moment of clarity. It don't matter. It don't matter how many creators decide to do their shizzle on my schedule. I've been doing it now for how long? We just talked about how long I've been cooking up. We just talked about how long I've been cooking on a set day at a set time. So it don't matter if 1,000 creators decide that they want to jump on at the same time as me. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I've got another question for you. When are you going to do part 2 to a certain video that you did at the beginning?
Yeah, I kind of already did part 2 in a live. So what I'll do is I'll record the part 2, which I already did in a live, and then put that out as a video.
Yeah. And put that in a playlist. That'd be a good idea.
And put that in a playlist, because part 2 has already been done, but it's locked away in a live. So I will make that its own separate individual video by just screen capturing that. So yeah, I'm at a beautiful moment of clarity when I realized, whoa, yeah. Anybody can do anything, anytime, same time as me. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. As The Rock would say, it doesn't matter. Because that's a different restaurant, different flavor, different style, but it's not the flavor. It's not this flavor. You know what I'm saying? It's a different flavor. You know, it's like you want beef and onion flavor crisps. And then the next guy is trying to give you salt and vinegar. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work, bro. Beef and onion is different to salt and vinegar. I'm sorry. So, where are we? Raph has his own unique home cooking 100. For me, Monday night lives are the best. Yo, I actually skipped Friday because I was busy and the sun was shining. So I gave you guys a day off. And when I came to do this on Monday, the nerves weren't there because I was busy. I went shopping. I had a moment of clarity on Sunday because I was like stressing. I was like, oh no, somebody else is going to do that thing at the same time as me. Oh no, I might lose some of my people might be siphoned off. And then I realized, I did a little bit of research just before bedtime. I thought, whoa, this is a different flavor, man. This is salt and vinegar. I'm beef and onion. That's salt and vinegar. Two totally different things. And I had a moment of calm. I said, oh, whoa, yeah, it's cool. It's cool, man. It's cool, man. It's got the Raphie vibe, says Toby Bartlett. Yes. Surely both, and for me, Monday night lives are the best. Thank you, Toby, and I enjoy delivering. I enjoy cooking up. I enjoy cooking, literally and figuratively. I enjoy cooking up this stuff for you guys. It's got the Raphie vibe. Yes, says Toby Bartlett. Ped, flavor, because I bust the cap with flavor. Yes. TommyTemper gets the reference, the old Public Enemy days. Yes, Ped, flavor, Raphie. Yes, 100%. If you like that flavor, you smash that like button. Yeah, man, it's just a moment of clarity. I had a moment of clarity. Everybody can do their own thing in their own lanes. it won't interfere with my thing, because my thing has its own flavor. 100. That was clear to me. It was great to me. Tommy, you were going to say?
Yeah, Rafa, have you made a in your live? Have you made a prediction on Dubois and Gorman?
Dubois, Gorman, I say Dubois wins. It's a knockout guy against the boxing guy, the slicker boxer is Gorman. The knockout guy is Dubois. I have said I think Dubois is going to win. I don't think Gorman, however, is going to be easy to knock out, because he's got good movement. But I do think Gorman is going to get starched.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a walk in the park? No. I don't see it as being a walk in the park. I see it as an exciting fight where Gorman ultimately gets starched.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this the other day, and I was trying to think two heavy boxers. When I say heavy boxers, guys who are, say, light heavy or heavier than that, that are both British. Have any of these guys actually met each other before either one was a champion? And then I was thinking the only exception I could think of that came to mind was George Groves and no. Before they were champions, James DeGale. They fought when they were champions, or when they weren't champions. I beg your pardon.
Oh, yeah, DeGale and Frutch. Yeah. DeGale and Frutch. That's a good call. Yeah, this is a highly unusual move by Frank Warren. However, it makes more sense when you realize that Gorman is with him on a fight-by-fight basis. And
I didn't know that.
Dubois is his boy.
Right. So obviously Frank has probably more faith in Dubois because
Frank has
a
vested interest in one of them more so than the other. And I think Gorman was giving him some problems, in the press. Oh, Frank's not backing me, this, that, the other. He's favoritizing Dubois and this, that, and the other. And Frank just said, okay, you know what? You want it, you got it. I trust my boy to beat you. Although I'm pretending that both of you are my boys, but one is more of my boy than the other. So let's get it done.
Because even David Hay and Andrew McAnally, they never fought until they were both champions.
Yeah, that's the normal route. I was very surprised that they made it happen. I was very surprised, but then when I found out more of the background story, it made more sense. Gorman was making noise in the press, and Frank got to the stage where he said, well, I trust my son to beat my stepson. So let's get it done. I think it's
going to be a good fight.
It's going to be an exciting card. Got Joyce on the card with fighting Jennings, and that's going to be that's one where we don't really know what's going to happen.
With the Brian Jennings that Tyson knocked out.
Brian Jennings, I don't think Tyson fought Brian Jennings. I think fought Brian Jennings.
Who was the guy that Fury gave a dirty knockout to?
I'm looking through. I think you're talking about Steve Cunningham.
Yeah. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, I get this.
Yeah. Who did Brian fight? Brian got knocked out by Oscar Rivas. Last fight. He was winning, and then Rivas caught up with him in the 12th round.
Can you hear me, Raphie? I've lost your audio.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
No audio, no music.
No audio, no music. Oh, people, have you lost the audio? 1 2 1 2. People, have you lost the audio? Can you still hear me in the chat? Can you still hear me in the chat? 1 2 1 2. Yeah. Pet saying you can still hear me in the chat. You're having problems, Tommy. Tommy is having problems, but that's no problem because we've come to the end of the show. Shola Ibofin said, yeah, no props, Tommy. Let me write to him. No probs. No problem, Tom. It's the end of the show. The show. Thank you for your participation. Boom. 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 Okay. Right. So, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Shoulder Bolfin made a good point. Good observation. Cool beans. Pleasure as always, Raphie. Let me give him a thumbs up. So, yeah, Shoulder Bolfin made a good point. I'd like to see you do a live collab, maybe a Friday afternoon or Thursday afternoon, kind of like the Boxing Boys format. Yeah, an afternoon show. That's a good idea. That is a good idea. Something that I've contemplated. Something that, because I'm looking at cutting down the shows. I have cut down the live shows because it was taking people away from the videos. The videos I have found by looking at my stats, the statistics on YouTube here, we have analytics. We have analytics that we can look at, and we can see the performance of each element, each video, each live show. We have deep analytics. So I've been able to look at the analytics and overall analytics, and I could see that people were veering away from the videos in favor of the live shows. And I could also see that was affecting the subscription rate. The subscription rate slowed down. So then I realized that I had to keep on pumping out the videos to keep the new subscription rate high or at a decent level. So I realized that doing the live show takes time, takes hours out of the day where I could be doing, because the live shows are lit, so people neglect the videos. But I find out the videos are the GW 15 and 16 of the channel. The VWs are the videos are they're the stream. They're the stream that brings in fresh water. Yeah, I looked at some other channels and I realized that the channels that just focus on the live shows and nothing else can be problematic. So I realized that for my channel, I have to stay focused on the videos as well. I can't lose focus on the videos because they are the GW50, they are the growth hormone, they are the EPO of the channel. They are the performance enhancers of the channel. If I abandon the videos, then boom, the channel would remain stagnant, and nobody wants stagnance. I don't want stagnance. I want progression, continued progression, bigger and better. Yeah, and there are certain plans that I have in mind. It relies on the continually increasing the subscription levels. So now that I've refocused and started paying more attention to the video again, then the subscription levels are moving in the right direction again. So that is what's up. That's what's up. So we've had a great show. I was looking forward to it. I think missing out on Friday kind of got my taste buds ready for Monday. And then, of course, we had this injection. It was already going to be a good show. There's already plenty of good topics. And then we had the injection of the Tyson Fury thing, bragging that he'd frozen out Dillian Whyte. Yes. Well, Sporting Icons, he's a big fish. He's a Mr. Big Fish. He's a big fish. So doing a collab with him would be kind of not so easy, YB, that's more realistic. Yes, we're on the same side of the street. Wow, that is strange sounding. Turned out to be a speeding car. Yeah, so YB, that's more realistic. I think me and YB could do a collab for sure, or a series of collabs for sure. Who else? BBC, yeah. Boxing Block Center. That's, yeah, I've done a series of collabs with him, and we'll do more in the future. I think I messaged him. He's messaged me a couple of times. I've got back to him. I didn't get back to him. I messaged him and he hasn't got back to me, but I'm sure we'll coordinate sooner rather than later. That was the noise of Fury doing a line down. That's some snorting power for real. Yes, good suggestions, gentlemen, and I'm sure there's some ladies lurking around. Good suggestions indeed. We have our latest moderator. He has been handed the sword of valor. That means I have to take it from another. Take it from one that is not here. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes. That's the way it grows. Okay, so thank you. It's been marvelous. We'll do a final roll call of the people who are still here. And it's the Peds. Hope your cat gets better. It's the Toby Bartlett, the new hall monitor extraordinaire. It's the, what am I saying to Toby Bartlett? So Toby Bartlett and Ped. Oh, this is housekeeping. Write something in the video, this video. Write a comment in this video, not in this comment section, but in the normal comment section, not in the chat section, but the normal comment section. And tomorrow or today, write something in the chat section as soon as this is ended, the comment section down here, and I will send you a link in that comments. I'll respond with a link in that comment section. You will click the link, and then that will bring you into a different section, an invisible section, and I can communicate with you in that invisible section. So it's private communication. I will communicate things that you need to know. Okay? So write something. In fact, you can write it now. You can write something in the comment section right now, and then I will send you a link. You click on that link, and then that's when the magic happens. Okay, but in the meantime, where are we? So it's the Toby Bartlett final roll call. It's the Toby Bartlett. It's the Peds. It's the TommyTemper. It's the Shola Ebofin. Where else? Where are we? Yeah. It's the King Slender. One of the original supporters of the channel. Good to have you in here. Who else we got? We got the Cristiano Woo. Christian Woo. Oh, he's one of those guys. Cristiano Woo is one of those guys from over there, from over that side. From the LDBC guy. He's an LDBC guy, but it's okay though. We had Vincent Grant. Who else we got? Yeah, of course, we had the celebrity troll Kaz earlier on. We had Ross Clark earlier on. We had the Red Glove Militant earlier on. And we had the D Bro earlier on. Yeah, he said Dillian should fight bums until he gets a shot. Yeah, that's one way of doing it. Okay, folks. It's been Raphael Dawkins. It's been the Combat Radio. It's the likes, it's the subscribes, it's the comments, it's the share, it's the enjoying the show, the ambiance, the flavor to savor. This has been Live Boxing Talk with Raphie 31. And enjoyable affair by all. Look, stay tuned to the channel to find out when the next show is going to be. Is it going to be Monday? Is it going to be Wednesday or Friday? Is it going to be, is the next show going to be a Wednesday or a Friday night? We don't know yet. Stay tuned to the channel and you will be notified. Okay, so it's the Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the live boxing talk with Raphie. It's the likes, the subscribes. It's the enjoying the show. And blessed. We are out.